What's happening, weirdos? This is Lamorne Morris. I bumped the mic. Lamorne Morris, you know him. You love him. He was on Fargo, the newest season of Fargo, and was incredible and won an Emmy for that. Holy smokes. I'm not sure if this is our first Emmy. It can't be. But it's the first one in a long time. What a thrill. Also, he was in Game Night, New Girl. He's awesome. He also has his own podcast, which is also awesome. It's called Lamorning After. And you should check that out, whomever you get your podcasts. And I'm so glad you guys are here. This is an awesome episode. It's a fun chat. And I don't have much to say up top other than PeteHolmes.com for all of my tour dates. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, I'm at Largo tonight, December 11th, here in Los Angeles. After that, on December 19th, I'll be in Seattle. Then we have the next Largo is January 17th, Salt Lake City. I'll be there in January. February, Phoenix. And then April, I'll be in Austin. So all of those are on PeteHolmes.com. Hope you can be there. And we do the Largo show in Los Angeles every month. Even if I'm not listing that date, you can go to largo-la.com. Always fun. This month, we have Nikki Glazer, Laura Bites, and some music. It's going to be great. Every time it's a great lineup. And I'm also there as well. So, all right, everybody, enjoy Lamorne. Get into it. Yeah, dude, I know. No, they were driving too.
What the?
Anyone you've seen on this podcast that's like, can I have a beer? That's actually not true. Sam J had a couple beers. She wasn't driving.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That would be really
Yeah.
shitty.
No.
That'd be really horrible of these people.
I agree. Don't go chasing waterfalls. It's something I felt compelled to say, but also don't go doing a Timberlake.
Ooh, he was doing a lot of stuff, wasn't he?
Was he?
He had he had weird like ancient shit in his system apparently.
Ayahuasca?
Man.
What was he doing? I don't want to drag him. Everyone loves J. Tim.
I love J. He was having a good time.
He's out there with the ancient roots in the barks. Now we're starting a new rumor.
Yeah.
Tell me what do you know? This is a gossip podcast.
He was on the old Oriental dust.
He was on opium?
No, I just made that up. But he possibly. Yeah. This is just coming from my very terrible memory. Mm-hmm. I just have a great memory, but I do think it was like
good self-love there.
Yeah, thanks. It's one of the best.
I loved it.
It's one of the best memories.
Beautiful memory. It gives people PTSD. Yeah. I've tried doing Trump on stage since the win, and people literally like make a sad sound in some cities.
Yeah, my sister does it all the time. Like because
she does Trump?
Now I when I speak I just do like this as a bit to her.
Me too.
And she's just like, stop.
It's so fun. Look. All reality aside,
yes,
it is funny to just kind of.
It is
just kind of.
Listen, it makes me laugh,
dude. What happens is you've lit me up. What happens is sometimes I'm on stage doing stand up, and I just end up talking like Trump by accident.
Yeah,
because it's a funny way to talk.
I also think what it is that he's so polarizing. Yeah, that whoever's like in the zeitgeist, whoever's
it's true. If we had a president that talked like Elvis, would all be doing Elvis. Like it's in your consciousness.
It just happens to be, and he happens to be funny. So it's one of those things.
Well, what it is like, this isn't, who cares? I was going to say it's grotesque confidence, which is really funny. That doesn't mean gross confidence.
Yeah.
I know you know that, but like it means like absurd confidence, which is funny. Yeah. Charlie Chaplin's Tramp is absurdly confident.
Yeah.
He's a homeless, he's an unhoused, Hitler-mustached man.
Yes.
And he's going to fancy dinner parties and shit. Like, that's absurd, grotesquely confident. So when I'm on stage and I'm doing a joke and it's not quite working, a little sprinkle of, like, if I had one critique of most comedy, specifically stand-up, I'd be like, say something. I don't mean political or life-changing, but say fucking something.
Yeah.
Like I have a joke right now where I go, can Starbucks stop pretending that pumpkin spice lattes are seasonal? At least we're talking about something. Yeah. At least I'm mad. But that would be like, they're not seasonal. They're not seasonal. They have them year round. You know, like that would be like a fun, like that's his thing is to at least like provoke or fucking go and too much comedy. And I mean at all levels. I mean like established comedians do these kind of like a silent fart kind of joke that's like nothing, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
And you'll never say what you want about Old Donnie boy. But
Yeah.
he's not limping around.
No,
Yeah.
no, he's very aggressive.
Very aggressive. And yeah.
Very aggressive. Even when he sucked that Mike's dick.
He did what now?
He sucked the mic from like it was a penis.
He did what now?
Yeah, he took the microphone, two-handed it.
He did not.
He did that to a microphone. And
Is this really sucked a ding dong?
Yes.
Like a microphone ding dong? But he knew what he was doing? He was like, this is like what I'm
Well,
doing?
here's what he was doing.
I get my news from my guests, by the way.
Well, here's the thing. He was I saw a clip where they were like, what is this guy doing? He's at a rally, he's sucking off the mic stand. And I was like, I laughed at it and I went, there's got to be more to the story. There's got to be more context to it because usually that's how the media works. When you're trying to smear one side, you use the part that will get them.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
No matter what side of the coin you stand on, that's the name of the game. Let's make you look bad so we win.
Right.
And so I looked at it just to see what the full clip was. And yeah, that's what he did. Like I watched from front to back.
And you know what? There's no two ways to slice that one.
You know, but his reasoning behind it, in my opinion, was like, I see what he's trying to say, but you still did the action.
He was making fun of someone else.
He was making fun of how low the mic was, and like, they want me to do this. They want me to. He's like, it's so low, and I need a good mic. And he was like shitting on the sound guy, and he was like,
Terrible sound guy.
Yeah, he was like, they're the worst.
They're
so
the worst.
stupid. They're so dumb.
So dumb. These are the worst sound guys. Look at that guy back there.
Yeah,
he doesn't even have headphones on. He doesn't even know what I'm saying.
He doesn't even have ears. That guy's deaf. So dumb and deaf.
And then he does deaf voice, goes viral. Oh no! He goes. People would forgive it immediately.
Yes. And then he
Or
goes,
his fans would.
And then he leans over and he just grabs the mic and he goes, I had to do it. I had to do it.
I had to do it.
You were like,
If I see something that low and hard, I have to do it.
Got to put my mouth around it. It's got to be. I got the best mouth. No one has a better mouth than me.
I'm going to say I had to do it is what we're talking about. That's the comedy standpoint.
Yeah.
It's like I had to. I had to do it. It's
Yeah.
Go ahead, please. I'll say something long-winded while you have it.
No,
too.
I just.
You came in saying you were thirsty.
I know, but then you were going and
I know, and now we're off. And yeah, I can talk about what a great coat. Burberry?
Oh, this old thing?
That's a guess. Just a guess.
Sandro.
Can we talk about, I don't know what that means.
Sandro, it's the name of the brand.
No, I know, but I don't know what that means. Am I like, ooh, Sandro?
You should be.
Oh, Sandro Bullock over here. There she is. Well, that camera's very low. Don't go sucking. Don't do it. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. Gotta do it. I know everyone listening. I'm going to apologize. I'm sorry. I diffuse everything in my life by making fun of it. And if I stop doing that voice, which I understand it might be inciting to people, that's like the terrorists of one sort of moment. Like,
Yeah.
we need to keep shopping. We need to have the biggest Christmas ever. You know, that sort of thing. So that's my rationale there.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. That's all.
That's the
That's the
way.
only reason why I do it.
Can I ask you, as a well-dressed man?
Oh, thank you.
I just today went to APC,
Okay.
which stands for something in French.
Apache.
Is that what it means?
No, I just made that up.
I like that.
Yeah.
But you did a very convincing.
Native French.
It's very tempting to do Trump. I really want to do it. The whole episode, I'm going to want to do it.
And I feel like every time you're going to pronounce something incorrectly or over enunciate certain parts, you have to do it in Trump's voice as well. China. You have to say it. Like, you have to say lion camera. You have to.
Yeah.
Whenever you're going to like intentionally mispronounce something.
But that's the grotesque confidence. And you can't, and that's what comedy is getting over a lot of humps.
Yeah.
Like you don't know how to say the word, say it kind of funny.
Exactly.
That's been my coping strategy. This whole time. Anyway, so I go into APC, but here's what, dude. First of all, I'm 6'6", so a lot of times I go into these stores and they don't have anything for me. So there's like a certain amount of shame. But I was in the car, and I'm going to put this back to you. I'm in the car, and I went to their website, because I haven't gone in APC. It's for those that you don't know, I wouldn't have known. It's like a fancy clothing store. And I went on their website just to see if I was like, what if they don't even have a men's section?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, and this is what I want you to speak to, the amount of shame, I was so prepared to go in and be embarrassed. It's just a store. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to look in the wrong section. I'm going to get the wrong thing. They're not going to have my size. Everything I put on is going to look ridiculous. Do you have any of that anxiety going in? You don't look like you do.
Well, hold on. First of all, it's a nice store. It's not Met Gala shit. It's
I
not
understand.
like you're going to walk in and
Nothing was inflatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Just a can of paint and shoes.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
What?
how do I put this on? How do
Yeah.
I use the 3 seashells?
I
No,
s-
yeah, like,
Actually, surprisingly, all 3 go on your left breast. And the rest we all enjoy. This is the new Met Gala.
100%.
But you're comfortable
I am.
as a
Here's the thing.
well-dressed. I was even going to say fly.
Well, you know what's interesting about fashion nowadays is that it's just confidence. It's some fashion that I've seen, in my opinion, I go, oh, you look awful.
Yeah.
But they are walking up with the chest
did.
high,
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
smiling, and people are taking the photos, and I
Yeah.
go, oh, I guess that must be
We
cool.
love confidence.
You got to be confident.
Bjork in the Swan. I immediately go to Bjork in the Swan. Anyone else in the Swan?
Wasn't someone wearing meat?
Yeah, was that
Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. We're just gonna have to put a warning on this episode. Look, guys, if you're still feeling it, don't listen.
So I think it's a confidence thing. No, when I go, like, when I walk into a store, I'm like a hoodie person and a baseball hat, like, kind of
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Everything else is some stuff that thank you for saying
I mean, you
genuine-
had me at tasteful's very soft, clean jacket. No, it's not pilling.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
It's like
It looks like you take care of that jacket.
beat up peeling jacket.
Yeah, but it's not that.
Okay.
It's not, it's clean.
Thank you.
It's ready to go.
Thank you.
And when I saw you, well, let me put this to you. Nick Kroll said to me, but this is 20 years ago. I don't know if he still feels this way, because I was very curious about his fashion too. And he goes, in my experience, the least confident person is the best dressed, because they're trying to like
Oh, yeah.
stop you at the door.
Well,
Like,
I tell you-
don't go sniffing around my personality.
Yeah, part of
But-
it's
which
that
is
too.
weird, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even say nicest dressed. I would say the person who looks like they put the most thought and attention.
Yeah.
Because there are some people who are too well put together. It's like, oh, your hat matches your belt, which matches your shoes and the ring on your finger and the
Right.
color of your diamonds in your
Right.
That's like, oh, you did too much.
Yes.
Like, who'd you murder? You know what I mean? Like,
Matches your glove,
Yeah.
matches the knife. Yeah, I know what you mean. Why are we that way, though? We want people to look good, and that requires effort. But too much effort, now you're corny.
now you're corny.
Yeah. It's weird, though. It's a
is.
fine line.
Yeah, because I think part of it is that we're lazy too, and then when you look at somebody who's dressed nice, you go, "Fuck you, man! I could have did that shit. I didn't do that. Fuck you."
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
similar to the paintings that you feel like you could do. Like,
Yes.
this isn't a good painting. You just had a studio where you threw paint at a canvas. I could do that.
Yeah.
And we hate I could do
Yeah,
that. If
because
you
we didn't do it.
And because we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like I can't believe people let stand-ups get away with it, considering that I spend a year
Mm-hmm.
premeditating what I think might make a group of strangers laugh.
Yeah.
And then you look cool? You're a dork. It's how I feel about Guns N' Roses and every band
Yeah.
that's trying to look like they don't give a shit. I could pick a more modern band, like MGMT. They're just like, we just roll out of bed.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. You learned your scales.
Yes.
You practiced. You polished.
That took decades of practice.
Yeah, we're nerds. And nerd isn't even a bad thing. I just mean, like, I think about this all the time, but I'm going to put it to you. Like, take a really good rapper, a really good freestyler. They sucked the first time.
me. Yeah,
You. Are you a good freestyler?
I'm one of the greatest in the world, but I don't like to talk about it.
One of the greatest in the world?
As far as the world goes, yeah,
The whole planet.
yeah, worldwide.
Your talent spans it?
Yeah, like I've been around to a lot of cities.
Doing all your ditties?
No Diddy, but yes.
Not P. Diddy.
Yeah, nope, not P Diddy.
No baby oil.
Lots of baby oil.
Look, P. Diddy didn't take baby oil. You can still enjoy baby
Yeah.
oil.
That's still nice.
Tiki
It's soft.
torches are done. Baby oil is still fair. Babies are dry. Babies are dry. They are.
Yes, that's true.
it.
They need the oil.
Slip it around.
We need thousands of bottles of it.
Thousands.
It's a lot of babies. It's a lot.
Oh my God. Okay, what were you saying?
I forgot.
Oh, freestyling.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
just
not.
saying-
I'm not. I'm just. I was just. Yeah.
I loved it. And I actually saw you freestyle on Rick Glassman.
Oh shit!
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I get weird.
We're not going to freestyle.
I'd appreciate it. I had a beat that I was about to
Do you have
play.
one?
Yeah.
Do it.
I'm just putting my phone on.
Lamorne Morris.
I'm put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Alert the chorus.
Whoa.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
I came equipped. I'm not going to do
came
it.
equipped.
It's so corny when I do it.
Headband like you're Horace.
Horus?
Like Grant.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the Egyptian sun god.
No.
Nah?
He didn't have a lot of
Ra?
equipment. Ra? Yes.
Shit.
Amin Ra?
On your SNL audition, you tried Obama.
I did.
I only interview you in terrible freestyle. I actually watch because my YouTube knows I like freestyle videos. I do. It showed me one, and I love Eminem, but it was bad. It was almost like, this is my point, is like no one's perfect all the time. You do an amazing Denzel. I'm not priming you to do it. I just mean like, even Denzel does some shit, and you're like, that was so stupid.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
We just don't see it.
Of course
this
not.
goes back to what I was saying. I think about what makes people laugh. Denzel, they only keep the parts in
That's good.
where he was good.
Like, can you imagine the outtakes from Training Day that didn't make it?
Yes, I'm Mothra, bitch. I'm the metal Godzilla.
Like,
The director's like, just keep rolling.
just
He'll
do
get it. He'll get it.
Motherfucking Dracula, bitch.
But you know,
What are you gonna do?
Nosferatu.
Motherfucker.
That's
It's like, nah.
and then they cut it out and they make you look amazing.
100%.
Amazing. It's a ruse.
Yeah, that's why I always fuck the editors.
Yeah, you got to.
You gotta do
You
it.
got to sleep with them.
You gotta sleep with the editors.
You gotta take
People
them
always
out.
People talk about sleeping with directors and casting
that.
directors. No,
Fuck that.
the editors.
No. Go right to the source.
make love.
That's actually true. If I meet an editor on a movie, that's the first person I go up and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Because they did it.
Yes.
They really did
They
do
did.
it. They did it and they cut out. And I've been in things where I've watched another actor struggling and the editor fucking makes them look better.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, have you noticed the phenomenon that often the person in the project who's worst on set is best on the show?
Yeah.
Have you noticed this?
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're like wild cards.
Yeah.
And they give you so many weird things. They can't remember their lines. They're not on their mark.
Yeah.
They change the scene, but not in a good way. Like they fucked it up. A lot of people, because on Crashing, a lot of the people were comedians. They weren't actors, but they cut together beautifally because they were nuts.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
You've noticed that?
Oh, I notice it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't even say that they're bad, like they're acting poorly. They're just wild cards.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like you don't know, because I improvise a lot, but there are others who improvise. Like Jake Johnson, for example, improvises with the best of them. And there are times where you have to keep up. So him, if you're like back in the New Girl days, if it's him, Damon, Max, myself in a scene, you're like, I may as well not even read the script. Because Jake is going to say something that's so far left. Max is going to mispronounce words. Damon's going to pull his butt out. Like there's going to be something so irreverent that you have to just follow it and go with it. And then when you watch the show back, the editors, I think Steve Welch was our editor. He will piece it together, and obviously with the help of directors, in such a beautiful way where you're like, man, it's like this. It's like a great art to be able to pull
what is the scene and what isn't. It's like sculpting, right?
Yeah.
You remove everything that isn't David, but they're like, when you're looking at the raw footage, so many of us would just be like, well, that whole thing was funny, but he's like, no, just a little.
Yeah.
It's like a song.
Yeah.
One, because bullshit, and I mean good bullshit, like Jake saying some bullshit has a sound to it. You can kind of tell he's trying to make you laugh. That can't be the whole thing.
Right.
Then it becomes masturbatory. But if you season the scene with these little moments, but then keep the dialogue intact, now you're cooking. Right?
Now you're cooking, and it takes a great editor, especially an editor who has a great relationship with the director.
Yeah.
Because they're helping you sculpt it, and if it's done beautifully, you're right. The biggest lunatic on set will come off looking fantastic.
And the one time they say it, or they save it in ADR or something, and that kind of it has in the past. I've had to make peace with it, and there were just people on Crashing that like you built the performance in the editing, and that it would make me resent them because I'm like they didn't do it, and then we made it look like you did it. But then I was like, who fucking cares? There's so many people You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
their special thing. Not everybody needs to like do it properly on the day. Is that the most electric thing? Not always.
I'll tell you, I've worked with some pretty big actors who you're watching in real time, and they have this iconic library of films. And when you're watching them, it ain't as beautiful as you thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you saw how the sausage was made.
yeah, and you're like, oh, but then you watch the movie and you go, well, that's a movie star.
Yeah,
because I don't know how you
can
did that.
Say who it was. Go ahead.
Well, I don't. Well,
go ahead.
Well, here's one thing. It's a guy who I admire so much, and I think he's mastered the art of the filmmaking business, and is a classically trained, dope actor. Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, has these, big blockbuster hits, like hit after hit after hit after hit. And when I did a movie called Bloodshot with him, and there are some scenes that calls for a back and forth. And because he's an actor, like he's actually like doing the scene. And then there are moments where he's also thinking as a businessman, where there'll be a scene where he'll have a moment, and then he'll stop and reset himself and do like a movement, and then just give like a look over his shoulder, and then just say like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
He's in the edit bay.
He's
thinking ahead. He's thinking of the trailer. He's playing 5-dimensional chess.
Oh, I'll tell you. One time in particular, I had a line to him, and I'd done the scene like maybe like 2 or 3 times, different coverages, and then he goes, "All right, let's go again. But this time, when you say it, the second part of that line, just slow down, just really slow. It's not going to feel natural. Just go really slow." And I say it to him, and he goes, "That's the trailer." And I was like, huh.
Vinny.
It is such a, it's not theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, when you watch an action movie or drama, like I'm watching it, I'm like, on set, that had to be so weird.
Yeah.
Where it's what we're talking about. You're about to jump out of the plane and you look over your shoulder and you go, I make this look incredible.
Yeah.
And that makes sense when there's music and score and the camera's pushing in. But on the day, you're just some fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
And that, to me, seems to be like the job.
Yeah.
In fact, sorry, this is selfish. I use wonderful actors such as yourself as my own. Like, you can hear what I'm working on as an actor based on what I ask about. And like, one of the things that has really come into the forefront of my acting considerations is like, get over how you're being perceived. Like, your job is to embarrass yourself.
Yes.
And your job is to not, I've said this a million, but I'm saying it to you. It used to be my number one consideration was be most well-liked.
Yep.
Second was be funniest. No matter what the part was, be the funniest. And the quickest. That goes in number 2. Like, show everyone how fucking shiny you are.
Yeah.
So be the best, most liked, and be the quickest, funniest. Number 3 is do the scene. It's like serve the movie. And now I'm seeing why you flipped that. But you're doing something like Fargo, and now you're doing like real stuff. Like, you have to give a look to that dude that says, I'll kill you, try me. That had to feel kind of stupid.
Well, 100%.
Right? I don't mean you didn't feel like you felt like it was stupid, but these guys just took lunch. Now there's a camera guy, and you look like you're going to kill somebody. Everyone knows the gun's fake. This guy's an actor. You're friends in real life.
Yeah. He's a sweet guy.
He's a sweet guy. And how much of the job, and I'm going to shut up because I really do want to hear your answer, is how much of the job of acting is getting over that? Like, not thinking in the small, but thinking that's the trailer or that's the movie.
It's a big part of that, because I did learn that from Vin working on that movie. Yeah. That there are other parts. You don't get paid to make a movie, you get paid to sell it. So there are other parts where you want to make sure it looks a certain way for the consumer.
That's very Schwarzenegger too.
Yeah.
He was like big into the like how to market it, how to advertise, and just shoot it in that way. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's necessary in order to keep working, because we all want to be in control of our careers. We want to be the marquee name, so we can pick and choose what we do and how long we want to do it for. But I look at theater, for example. Theater is acting at its purest form. For actors who want to get started in the business, for actors who just love it, who are just so passionate. That's why you see folks like Denzel still doing theater, continuously, being on that stage to get that. It's like doing stand-up. It's like the audience, what the audience gives you.
There's nothing better. Yeah. You can't fake it.
You
can't.
can't.
I think once Denzel or anybody got a taste.
Yes.
What are you gonna?
You can't.
You get a different rush on
Yeah.
a movie or even on a TV set.
100%. I've only done stand-up a few times in my life. I'm obsessed with it. And I've only been on stage, like, I've only done maybe like 5 shows. But I go, it's the fucking greatest thing. I go, I see why people don't stop. It's like you get laughs and you're like, I have a 10-inch dick.
Yeah, you 10-inch dick.
It's a massive one. I'm scaring people with it. Like, it's
10-inch dick, it's back.
10-inch dick.
But that's you're absolutely right. There's nothing quite like it. And
Your response to when I said that was almost like, oh, that's small.
You mean your dick shrunk a little bit?
Yeah, be you. Like, do you have a foot-long penis?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was going with it. Like, I was like, oh, you mean a 10-inch dick? Like, you get a little scared and your dick kind of retreats a little bit.
God damn it.
10 inches me post cold pool.
Yes.
No. Yes. They're also your laughs.
Yeah.
There's something about, I like doing other people's material. That's actually my favorite thing. I don't know if you've ever, my favorite thing that I think about. I'm like, what I really want is I want someone else writing something incredible that I can then elevate. Like I can add to it. Everything, so much of what I've done is me writing it. And that's a different thrill. Stand-up is amazing because they're your laughs. But I like doing other people's stuff, but then when you go and do stand-up and it's all yours, but also the failure is all yours too.
The failure is all yours. There's no one to blame but you.
No one to blame.
Can't blame the sound guy.
You can
Man,
blame.
the mics were fucked up this evening.
yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Terrible sound guy.
Terrible sound guy. Go.
Same sound guy. But so you are obsessed with stand-up even though you've only done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Because of that rush?
Because of that rush.
And those were my words. It's your laughs. What was it for you? The immediacy? What was it?
It was knowing that I worked on writing this joke, and when I got on stage, people were like, "That's hilarious."
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I go, "Holy shit!" And then it's when the show's done, there's this immediate like, "Well, what I need that again."
That's why there was like a big cocaine problem. I'm not trying to be funny. It's like people are trying to chase. Your body just made cocaine.
Yeah.
You made it, and now you're like, I need something that feels like that.
Yeah.
For me, it was never that. It was always like, I'll go eat a cupcake or something. Like that's still a struggle.
Yeah.
Like you're just dopamine. You know when you like scroll on Instagram and then you notice you're hungry or you're horny? Your brain is just going more feel good stuff.
I'm not scrolling Instagram during that point. I'm scrolling something else.
Yeah, Tinder, right?
Some other shit I'm
right?
scrolling.
Scroll up on the OK Cupid. I know the apps. I'm out there.
Okay,
I'm
Cupid.
cheating on my wife. Don't worry about it. Raya? Is it Raya?
It's Raya.
I pretend I don't know.
I've seen you on Raya.
Big Daddy Holmes. Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's awkward when you're cheating on your spouse and like you're kind of a known person and people see you and they go, aren't you like known to be a married person? You're like, yeah, that's just fake. That's
fake.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing.
Got to stay married for the fans.
For the fans. Ring don't mean a thing.
But no, what I mean by the, going back to the film element is that when you're on set, you're taking some of that, the purest form of acting with you, obviously.
Yes.
But there's another element to it now. Now the element is it's creating, it's putting a puzzle together.
Yes.
There's this 95-page script. We have to shoot a bunch of stuff, put it together and see what works. Some of it might not work. Yeah. So we're going to try different takes and different versions of it.
Yep.
Theater, you don't have that luxury. So when I see someone like Vin who will stop and start a scene every once in a while just to make sure he's sculpting it for marketing purposes, I applaud that because I go, he's looking at post in real time.
Right. Well, that Fast and Furious, that's not an accident. Like, I think people look down on it. Maybe I've even looked down on it. I think there's a difference between Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
And they know. It's like a different thing. They're going a different way. The stunts are a little bit more outrageous.
Yeah.
They know. But it's not a mistake. Nobody's making 12 movies.
Yes. There's a lot.
By accident.
Yeah.
So Vinny D would stop a scene and just kind of go, what?
He will stop it. I give you a moment. There is one scene where him and I are having this conversation inside of a camper, at the end of the movie. And the line is, "Thank you, Wiggins." And then he leaves. Now, in his brain, he's probably going, does that line work? I don't know. Does it look cooler over my left shoulder than over my right shoulder? I don't know. So he'll stop and start and give the editor 5, 6, 7 options in that one moment while I'm just sitting there like this. And he'll just stop and go, "Thanks. Thank you, Wiggins." Wiggins, my man. And he'll just like try these different versions. And
I'm dead.
And initially I was like, what's he doing? But then I thought, I mean, he is brilliant. Like he is.
Yeah.
And then to his credit, I then look at that when I'm filming now.
Yeah.
I'll go back sometimes to a director and go, can I try it one more way?
Yeah.
And I'll try it. I'll do the scene. I'll play the scene, and I'll look at subtext and all these different things of how I feel I could be. But as long as it looks natural and real and all those things, and then I'll go back and I'll go, but commercially, what looks cooler?
Yeah.
And then I'll stop it. I'll say, let me try one more thing.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back and I'll do a cooler take. And sometimes it gets used, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, if you're making a mosaic, why not just make as many tiles as you can? There are other types of filmmakers, like I'm thinking like Clint Eastwood does like 2 takes and just keep moving.
Yeah.
That's a different style. It gives you a different kind of movie.
Yeah.
But when you are in the edit, you know, it reminds me of Adam McKay and it reminds me of Judd Apatow, the guys that are yelling out alts.
Yeah.
Because these guys are going, we don't know. I'll tell you one of the things Judd told me, actually. He's like, what they would do, and you see it.
Yeah.
You see it in everything. I just saw Moana 2. They do it in Moana 2.
Really?
It's the biggest laugh in the movie. Excuse me, it was The Grinch. I have a 6-year-old. I watch a lot.
Okay.
It was The Grinch. The biggest laugh in that movie is there's a reindeer and it's a little reindeer and it screams. It doesn't make a regular reindeer sound. It goes, ah, it's a really funny scream. Movie ends, it's panning out. There he is. He screams.
Yeah.
And we cut to black. It's done. So Judd told me they'd screen the movie, whatever the biggest laugh was, they'd do reshoots and call it back in the end. Now that, I mean, you probably already knew that, but it's like, watch any movie, any comedy, that's what they're doing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're like, how did they know? They didn't know.
Yeah.
They Vin Dieseled it. They're just shooting a bunch of shit and then putting it together. But Vin's trying to do it without the reshoot fee.
Yeah, probably.
My man Wiggins.
He's smart. That man is smart. I'm telling you.
I'm going to bring this in under budget.
Under budget.
Under budget.
That leftover goes to me. Which is what I mean when I say, like, I don't look at actors like that as crazy now. I go, no, you're just smart. Like you just understand the business in a way that I didn't understand before.
I worked with someone who worked with Keanu Reeves. Welcome to the Thunderdome. I got that secondhand. It wasn't me. But they were doing a scene with Keanu Reeves, and he did it. Then he did it again, and then he stopped and went, wait. And then he like reset himself and he went, and it was some dumb line. It was probably on this podcast, the story. He went like, what? I don't know. Like just a normal line. And then he did it that way and he went, that's the one. He was also in the edit. And thinking ahead. He was Vinny D'ing it. Did you ever go to Vin's house? I'm pretty obsessed with Vin Diesel, I'm realizing as I'm chatting with you.
I've never gone to his house. I don't know if Vin likes me.
What?
I love him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think he likes me. I just don't know.
Does he love me?
Yeah, Vin, I know you like me. Do you love me? No. And here's why. And here's
a couple. Do you have his number?
No. That's what I was about to say. Doesn't follow me on social media.
That's not him.
Don't have his number.
I'm gonna dismiss the first one. There's
him.
no. It is.
He posted one day we were at ADR. He was sitting down. We were talking. And he takes a video and he starts talking about the movie with me. Oh, you're going to love this kid in the movie, blah, 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 blah. And he posted it on his Instagram. So I'm not sure how often.
And he's tagging you, but it's not coming up because he doesn't follow you. And he's like.
That might be true. I think.
What if he doesn't know your name? Like, what if it's been this whole time and it's too late? He's only called you Wiggins. And now he's like, I can't ask this guy his name.
Yeah, because he always calls me Chi-Town.
There you go.
He probably doesn't know my name.
I think we cracked it. Vin Diesel does like you. He just isn't sure what your name is.
Yes. And I could, I'm okay with that. I'm okay.
He could have read the credits. He puts on his readers during the credits.
He goes, Vin doesn't stick around for the credits. Then he leaves.
No. So you don't know if he no text, no social. No. Never got his number?
No. And here's
he looks like he would always talk on a sat phone. Vin Diesel looks like he shouldn't just be on an iPhone. Vin
Yeah.
Diesel,
Yeah, he needs that
should have a
instant-
satellite phone.
He doesn't need any interruptions.
No.
Like, he needs to.
I always have service.
Whatever I'm calling world leaders, dignitaries. You know, I feel like
He just breaks out perfect Mandarin.
Yes.
Like, Vin? I wouldn't
yeah.
put it past him.
He's like, I sell all my movies in
I
China.
sell all my movies.
But he, what I did one day, I don't know. This is what I mean by I don't think he likes me,
Can't wait.
because I could be wrong.
We're going to decide today.
I once trolled him on social media, but in a positive way, I thought.
Yeah.
Do you remember that picture that he posted with, well, he posted of The Rock when he was trying to get The Rock to come back to Fast and the Furious? Well, he had this plea to The Rock and said, listen, we're family, we're brothers. My kids look up to you. They call you Uncle Dwayne.
Just the last line of every Fast and Furious movie. You
We're
just copied and pasted.
It's not how you drive your car.
You got to drive a standard. Helps with the control. I interviewed the Fast and Furious cast for one of them, and I said, when it cuts to the inserts of your feet on the clutch, are those your feet? Ludacris laughed like I was an idiot. He had no idea who I was, so he didn't know I was joking. But yeah, keep going.
He said,
Sorry.
Steve, you crazy. Crazy, Steve. Oh, man.
So he posted, said, we're family, come on. They call you Uncle Dwayne.
Yeah, it was all this stuff, you know, and I was excited because I was like, shit, The Rock back in the movie. I like the franchise.
Yeah.
But then later on, I was wondering why we weren't getting a sequel to Bloodshot. So
Did it do well? I'm not trying to
it
be
did well
funny.
on demand. We were the last movie during the pandemic. Like our premiere was about to be canceled because they had started shutting theaters down.
Oh, wow.
But the studio was like, well, let's just release it anyway.
Yeah.
And like the theaters were shut down.
Of course.
So we went
But you
straight
could still
to.
win an Oscar.
We didn't.
No Oscar.
I don't think we were even nominated. I'm
No
not sure.
category.
No category. I mean,
bullshit.
Visually,
Visual effects alone.
great visually.
Look at my shoulders.
Yeah. I thought there were great performances in the movie.
I know. I actually saw that tour you gave of your house, and you said that's Bloodshot. It's the greatest action movie ever made, and you seem to believe it. I'm not. Again, I haven't seen it, so I'm not questioning.
To be fair, it's the only action movie I've ever made.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna listen. I got. We ride together. We die together.
That's right. Once you're in a Vin Diesel movie, you're obligated. You're in the family now.
Listen,
but you're not. Tell me what happened.
So I posted a photo of us, and I just rewrote what he had written to The Rock, but I wrote it to him.
To put you in the movie.
No, to make Bloodshot 2. I was like, come on, like the people need us. They've been calling for it. My daughter, she's never met you, but she calls you Uncle Vin. You know, we tried to. I said we reached out to that tree, and I said we knew we couldn't get you, so we reached out to that tree in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was busy, so we reached back out to you. So hopefully, you know, you.
No.
But I was doing it in a way which I thought he would think was funny.
Yeah.
And I don't think so, because then I was sent a gift. First of all, like some producers hit me up and they were like, "Are you good with Vin?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They were like, "That's like you might want to take that down." I was like, "Oh no, I'm just being funny." Like I thought, what? I don't have a problem. What do you mean? And they were like, they didn't get the bit. I was like, "Do you remember the picture he posted?" They were like, "No." And I was like, "Go look at the thing."
Oh my God.
And then people kind of understood it. And I was like, I think he would understand it. I get a big box in the mail from Vin with a bow on it, or from his company, One Race Pictures. I open it. It's
One Race?
Yeah. Well, he's multiracial, but you know.
Human race.
Human race.
It does sound kind of like there should be one race. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's what he means, but I'm not calling my company One Race Pictures.
Aryan race. What the fuck? No, but he. Anyway, but
One race? Oh God, that's too real. That gave me the willy jillies.
But no, I then opened the box. It's a big Christmas box.
Yeah.
But in it is a pad, a phone charger. That's just a pad.
Like the kind you put your phone
You
on.
just put your phone on.
Big box.
Big box.
Inside.
Small.
So it's like a joke.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, this is going to be like a 3D printer or something.
This van, I'm thinking it's gonna be a damn Ferrari. I don't know.
Right?
I was like, this box is
Your
big.
family know.
Yeah.
You know how to drive a standard? Let me do that again. You know how to drive. Hey, Wiggins. You know how to drive a standard? And you open it and there's a charging pad?
It was a charger. That's why I was like, oh, he doesn't like me. I think I fucked up.
How big is the box? Are you sure it was a joke or was it just an oversight at the one true race production company?
I don't, it was the box. I'm not exaggerating when I say the box was probably like a good half this size. Probably like this big. You know.
Wait, the size of that cushion? Half the cushion?
Half the cushion.
And there was a little thing in it?
Yeah, about this. The pad is about this big.
And nothing else in it?
Nothing else in it. And I was so
Card?
confused. No.
Voiceover in your head?
Fuck you. That's what I thought it said.
Lamorne, it's me. Remember that tweet you did?
You might want to charge your phone because it's going to be plenty more tweets where that comes from.
Wait, there is kind of a...
There's gotta be
there's a corollary.
It's got to be.
You're out there tweeting on your phone, you better charge up.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if he likes me or doesn't like me, but I love him, so I don't know if that's a thing.
I had a friend who, again, secondhand, who did a movie with Joaquin Phoenix. I was actually cut out of that movie. And he said he would text Joaquin. They got close. And Joaquin would just text him pages and pages of giraffe facts. So what does that have to do with the story you just told me? Famous people are crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying bad crazy.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're eclectic, eccentric, kooky.
I feel like there's a reason that you can get to that level of creativity.
I agree. The veil is thinner.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're
100%.
They're porous.
Yeah.
And they're grabbing it.
Yeah, because you see, I'm working with Nick Cage right now. Couldn't be a more normal person.
Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Great to meet you. Love new girl. Zoe Deschanel. She's great. Anyway, let's go. Fuck you. Well, Nick Cage was on point today. That came out better than normal.
That was pretty good.
And it's usually horrible, so.
Oh, yeah. No, he's one of those guys that because I had these previous experiences with certain folks, I was like, because his reputation is so broad and out there, I go, I wonder what this will be like working with him. Couldn't be a more generous actor. He's as kind as they come.
Really?
I mean,
like what? Is he like, how's Lamorne being framed right now?
Well, no, he'll look, like if I do something, like if I try something, there are moments where I go, like I said, I'm going to try something else in this moment. And I'll go and try it. And I'll do it. And then when I'm done, he'll like wink at me. He'll go, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That was good.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
And I go, thank you. And he's open about his, like we talk about personal stuff. He's very, he's upfront about advice that he, if he sees something,
what's a piece of advice? I collect the advice.
Well, actually one of his pieces of advice, he didn't really tell me, he just did it. And
don't eat supermarket shrimp. They say it's pre-cooked. I don't trust it.
Ralph's sushi isn't real sushi.
Ralph's sushi, I'd rather eat airport sushi.
I'd rather eat an airport. No,
I could eat a peach for hours. What was that movie? Face Off?
Was it Face Off?
It might have been. Katie, you're too generous to look up what is I could eat a peach for hours. I could eat a peach.
No, but I watched. I had asked him about his.
It's Face Off? Yeah.
I watched him about his preparation because he knows everything about the script, like episodes in advance. He knows the dialogue. He knows the lines from front to back and even back to front. And
what does that mean? He can say them backwards?
He can say the last line and the line that comes before that, and the line that comes before up into the first line. And he knows, if you say one, he knows exactly where in the script that is.
What?
Yeah. He's such a student still of the craft.
Whoa.
And so without telling me his advice, he gave me advice.
Wow.
He's like, the work doesn't be, he's like, you need to know the script in such a way before the work even begins. And I'm like, holy shit. And I look at him and I look at myself and I go, I got work to do.
Yeah.
I got work to do.
That is, again, as I'm developing still as an actor, and it's a privilege to develop as an actor while you're being an actor. Mm-hmm. That's a privilege and I'm grateful. But like sometimes I just watched something I was in and I was like, oh, I should have done more script work, because sometimes I'm just rolling in and doing the scene.
Yeah.
And like, it sounds like someone like Nick Cage would know the scene that came before, the scene that comes
Yes.
after, the 3 scenes before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that sounds like the most obvious thing in the world, but you know what it's like. Sometimes when you get in the rhythm, you've been on a shoot for 2 months, you just go and do the scene.
Yeah.
And you didn't take the moment to go like, wait, in the scene before this, I was crying.
Yeah.
I should look like I was just crying. That's not the true example, but like sometimes it doesn't carry over. It
Yeah.
sounds like Nick Cage is the opposite of that.
He's the opposite of a lazy actor.
Yeah.
Because you don't even have to be a lazy actor. There are moments in which you do get lazy or complacent.
Yeah.
And you don't do the full scope of the work for that scene. Because you know it. You know the character, you know your lines, and you just play it, but then a director will have to come in and remind you of what happened in the scene before.
Yeah. That's what happened in my case, by the way. The director was like, you were crying. Oh, right.
Oh, my bad.
I know. Yeah, that was just for fun. That one was for us.
Nick, you don't have to remind
Why are
me
you
of that.
laughing? Because I want to be the most well-liked.
Yes. And funniest.
Yeah. And third, your movie.
Yes.
So Nick Cage was...
You don't have to remind him.
How did you know he knew it backwards? Would he do that?
Well, we talked about it. He said that you have to know the words front to back, literally know them this way. That's his
way.
process.
And then also that way.
That's his process. And
I wonder if he sees it visual, like if he's like that kind of learner.
I'm still picking his brain.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? The great thing about being on a shoot with somebody that you admire like that. Let's say I was on that same shoot with Vin. He would have been annoyed with me because I would have been picking his brain nonstop.
Yeah.
That's what I get out of these things.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to go on and do my own stuff after we work together.
You keep this up, you're going to get another cell phone charger. Back away.
I'm like, hey, Vin, I'm picking your brain. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be in your trailer.
That's the trailer. But he's pointing to your trailer.
It's over there. Like, oh, this triple banger? All right, I'll go in there.
So, Nick Cage, that's incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then Hambone, you worked with Johnny Hamm. I saw somewhere, and I didn't watch the clip because I wanted to hear it from you, that you met John Hamm on mushrooms. Is this real?
Yes, that's true. That's true. Chappelle had, he would do these summer camps where these, like, during the pandemic, where these comics would come out and go on stage and, tell jokes and literally on a farm. He built this stage.
In Ohio.
Yeah, in Ohio. Oh. So I went out there a couple times, and one of the times that I was out there was this lady who was like making this specialized shroom tea. And apparently I was the only one who wanted some. Because I'd never done it. And I was like,
You had never done mushrooms?
No. Wow. And I was like, I want to trip. I want to do some weird, I want to see shit.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming everybody else is.
As you're chugging.
But I'm assuming everybody else has probably done it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, so I'm assuming, they've done it. They're clearly going to accept this tea from this woman. Yeah. The strange woman that no one can recall. but she was there, gave me this tea, and all I remember is Tiffany Haddish was telling a joke. She told this one joke, and her joke was, y'all ever wonder what happened to Grace Jones? That bitch is Serge Ibaka. Mm-hmm. And when I say was in tears, do you know who Serge Ibaka is?
No, I pictured Chewbacca.
Basketball player, former basketball player. He's got the cheekbones like Grace Jones.
Oh my God.
So if you put the picture of them two up side by side, I was in tears.
Yes.
And at the time, it was the funniest joke. So I kept asking her to tell it again. And she did. And then I just kept saying, please, Tiffany, just say it one more time. And at this point, everybody's looking at me like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Be cool.
Be cool, dude.
Be cool.
And I was like, when I say tears, I'm laughing so hard. And everybody's like, what the fuck? Michael Che is there. And he's going, nigga, stop.
Yeah.
And John is sitting right next to me. And I'm like, holy shit, man. I'm sitting next to John Hamm right now. This shit is crazy. And then he looks at me. And in Dave's backyard, he has these red neon lights. And in Dave's backyard, it's like glowing. It's bouncing off the thing. It's everything. And right behind him, there's this red aura. And John Hamm goes, maybe you should get some water. And I lost it.
Because it looked like the devil?
I immediately in that moment thought, he is Satan, and he is trying to kill me by drowning me. I'm like, why are you suggesting I go drink water? How much water should I drink? All of it, John? And I lost my mind. I got up and I walked away. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get some water. And I walked away off into the forest.
Every mushroom story has some point where you walk off into the forest. Yes. You have to.
I saw deer. I was like,
wait, for real?
Yeah. No, I walked.
Tripping deer.
I just walked that way.
Yeah.
And I was, and when I say freaking out, I was freaking out, but I was also like on a mission. I just knew that I had to get away from John Hamm. Because I was like, if the devil's that way, you go that way.
Yeah.
At least that's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what happened.
And what did you do once you were in the woods?
I sat by a tree for a little bit.
And you just wrote it out?
Yeah.
Were you having a good time? That sounds like it might be an amazing time.
Not originally. No.
Paranoia. No, I hear that possibility as well, but maybe I was hoping for you.
No.
You get away from the worst place for me to be on mushrooms. Just one of them has to be with a red light John Hamm, Tiffany Haddish, who thinks you're being weird, Michael Shea, who wants you to get it under control. Yeah. Then you go to the woods and you're like, this is where the mushrooms wanted me to be.
Yes.
Right?
Eventually it got to that place.
Yeah.
Because it was, when I say pitch black, it was so dark. But I knew maybe, 500-600 feet that way, people are there. That's safety. My car is there. Everything is there.
Yep.
And maybe about an hour, I think I sat by the tree in about an hour. I went back to my car, sat in my car for a while, fell asleep maybe for about 30 minutes, got up and was like, what the fuck? I'm gonna go home. And I just drove maybe 3 blocks to my hotel.
Whoa.
And that was it. And yeah.
That's incredible. This episode is brought to us by our friends at The Perfect Jean, literally the only jeans that I wear, which pretty much makes them the only pants that I wear. I hate hard pants. I love The Perfect Jean because they look fantastic, they're built fantastically, and they have a little bit of stretch, meaning these are comfortable, soft pants that look good. You don't have to wear, fucking like some Sting pant, like a Phil Collins pajama pant. You can just wear amazing looking jeans that give you a little bit of stretch. They got 2% spandex, 2.5% rayon for extra comfort and movement that your man parts require, especially now around the holidays. You're going to be watching football games. You're going to be watching movie marathons. You're going to be going up for seconds and thirds from your holiday table. You might even fall asleep in your pants if you're like me, and you're going to want them to be the perfect jean. They are liberating over 400,000 men's balls. 400,001, including me, and you can get 15% off with our code BABYBUNS15. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. That's JEAN. Theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code BABYBUNS15. That's 15% off new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code BABYBUNS15. After you purchase, they're going to ask where you heard about them. So please say our show, support your balls, support your pants, look good, fuck your khakis, and get the perfect jean. A little sniff there for accent. We're also brought to us by our friends at ARMRA. I was just putting ARMRA in my smoothie this morning and thinking this is a perfect gift for someone you don't know what to get for, because who doesn't want to be healthier, feel better, look better, and just kind of get that glow that colostrum gives you. But, maybe they don't know about it. If you have somebody on your list that's very hard to get a gift for, I'm one of those kinds of people. Get them some ARMRA colostrum. I am obsessed with ways to strengthen my immunity and my gut health, as well as fitness, endurance, metabolism, as well as hair and skin radiance. Also reducing bloat, fortifying gut health, igniting your metabolism. That's the main thing I notice when I take my ARMRA every day, which I do. I feel lighter in my belly. It just kind of equalizes the whole environment down there, and I feel fantastic. It also stabilizes my blood sugar. It accelerates fat burning. It really is a superfood. It fuels your fitness, performance, and recovery. ARMRA colostrum is a proprietary concentrate of bovine colostrum. It's just a powder, doesn't taste like anything. They do have some flavored. I really like their blood orange flavor in the packets. That's really fantastic. But it harnesses over 400 living bioactive nutrients that rebuild the barriers of the body and fuel cellular health for a host of research-backed health benefits. And it couldn't be easier to take. There's no taste. You can take it in water. You can put it in your smoothie. You can just throw it in your mouth. That's what I do sometimes. Totally natural, sustainable, grass-fed in the U.S., and they guarantee the highest potency and bioavailability of any colostrum on the market for results you can actually see and feel. And both Val and I actually see and feel those results for real, for real. We've worked out a special offer for weirdos. Get 15% off your first order. Go to tryarmra.com/weird or enter weird to get 15% off. That's tryarmra.com/weird. Back to the show. Going back to what we were saying about Nick Cage, I realized that there was something that we didn't talk about. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He's like, we were talking about ayahuasca earlier, but like he said there's something that really blew my mind. He was like, you know, with schizophrenic people and people that have what we label as a mental illness, it's like we medicate them and we sequester them, we institutionalize them and we sedate them basically. And it's because I'm listening to this podcast called the Telepathy Tapes, which is incredible, and it's about nonverbal autistic people that have telepathy. It's unbelievable.
Is it real?
Dude, it's a must listen. You have to listen to
Okay.
it. And go in with all your skepticism because that's the best way to enjoy it.
Okay.
You'll fucking go nuts. So we were talking about it, and when he said it, he was like, yeah, in jungle cultures, if the veil was really thin and you had like access to, like you were saying, creativity, but all sorts of weird spiritual gifts, they made you a shaman. Like the old shaman would train you and you'd be Dude, shamans are freaky dudes. It's not some guy named Keith in Santa Monica. I'm talking about like jungle, Amazonian shamans. These are like away from the tribe and they're seeing shit and they're talking shit, but they would train them like a movie. Anyway, I'm just saying like it's interesting that another place for people where the veil is thin, meaning your grasp of reality is a little bit different, is creativity. That's why it's not surprising when you're talking to Nick Cage that he can like look at a script two ways and make such interesting choices.
Because he's a shaman.
I am a shaman. I'm a healer.
Nick Cage is a healer.
Face off.
I ran into a guy the other day who said he was a healer, and I don't subscribe to that kind of thing. I could be totally wrong. Could be. I'm open to it being true. Sure. I just haven't really seen it. Sure. In action. But this guy comes up and he's talking to me and my sister. We're sitting down at a restaurant, and he, when I say showed up and was just so accurate with every detail, it blew my mind.
Really? Like he was reading you guys?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He had mentioned this past month of my life has been really chaotic, busy, but fulfilling and successful. He's like, he goes, he talked about my sister and a trial that she's going through. Like
literally a trial or like Bible talk?
Yeah, she's going to prison.
Is that real?
No.
That was very well done.
No, like it's just like a trial.
She's going to prison.
Yeah.
Like tribulations.
Yeah, like that. A time. And so she's figuring some things out. Yeah. And that's something that her and I talk about all the time. He just walked up and was like, that's going to go away. And he's like, roughly around March. He's like, around March, there are going to be some revelations that you're going to figure out you're going to explore this and that, and it's going to make you think differently about this and this and this. But he was very specific about the things that she was going through. Even with me. And for me, I'm a little more skeptical because Google exists. And I think maybe if they know me, he knows that I just won an Emmy. So maybe he's like, saying certain things that could, But he was very specific with her. And he doesn't know her. And he's very accurate with her. Right. And I mean, he was very specific with me as well, but I thought maybe that could...
You have to listen to the Telepathy Tapes. Okay. And so do you, Katie. It is fucking unbelievable.
And so do you folks at home.
I mean, for real. Yeah.
Telepathy Tapes.
It's one of the most interesting things. Paradigm shifting. It actually aligned with my view of the universe already, even though I'm not super woo, but I was like, this makes sense. This tracks for me. But I'm talking about like repeatable sign and 100% accuracy, not like 30%. Even though 30%, the odds of like a 30% accuracy is like 1 to a gazillion or something.
Yeah.
But these guys are nailing it. They put them in tanks. They put them behind steel. And then there are endless stories where people are like, email somebody and we're like, you were in the woods last night and this is what you prayed about. And like,
But how are we confirming this?
that's fair, but there's lots of confirmed. That's an anecdotal one that I just told you, where it's like this kid emailed me and said what I was praying about. Yeah, you'd have to be the guy.
Yeah.
But what's interesting about stuff like that is time and time again, everybody, including me, you'll always be a little bit skeptical until it happens to you. And the
Yes.
podcast is filled with people that are like, I went in, I had this word in my head, and he typed it out. The first thing he did when he came in, he typed out the word that I had in my head. I was just like, and people are like on the verge of tears talking about this. Skeptics.
You mean magicians?
Magicians.
These guys.
These guys are magicians.
They're Magic Castle regulars.
They're all Magic Castle regulars. But some of it, not all of it, but a lot of it really holds up to, actually, I'm going to say a great majority of it holds up to the scientific method.
I'm really I want to be involved in something like this.
Yeah.
And here's the reason why I'm probably not. Because then I'll know it's real.
Yeah.
And if I know it's real, I'm going to seek out the ability to do it.
Yeah.
And if I seek out the ability to do it and become successful at it, I'm going to use my powers for evil.
We'll be right back. You think so? If you realized deep in your experience,
Can I move like telepathy, meaning just to communicate or to like move?
read minds, that's psychokinesis or
Oh,
telekinesis.
that's telekinesis. So telepathy, so the ability to communicate. And
Yeah, well,
read
you and I
mind.
could be talking and just be like, it happens. So I don't know, no one knows the reason, but these are nonverbal, highly intelligent people stuck, in their bodies that don't work or don't do what they want them to do. And they're developing this way of talking. So caretakers, teachers, parents, very close relationships. They just started, and no one wanted to talk about it, but once they started talking about it, we realized it was a worldwide phenomenon.
I could buy it because whales do it. I mean, they use
Dolphins
sonar
do
and
it.
Dolphins. I could buy it to a certain degree.
There were one of my favorite stories is there was a guy who saved a tribe of elephants. They were being, they were going to be murdered basically because they were being a nuisance to the people. They were like trampling. It was dangerous elephants. So they're like, we're going to fucking kill these elephants. Their plan was in motion to kill this like herd of elephants. Yeah. This dude had a sanctuary, went in. Now, he couldn't just go in and get them because they were like feral. They were like dangerous elephants. And he went in and lived with them for like a week. I don't know the dude's name. I wish I did. Let's say it was Aaron, just so I can refer to him. So Aaron goes and lives with the guy, with the elephants for like a week, gets them to trust him, gets his stuff in there, gets them to go on the truck, relocates them to this like 1,000-acre preserve, right?
Yeah.
He dies like 10 years later. The elephants all showed up at his house. They all, like, his house was on the property. They hadn't visited in years. They traveled over 90 hours. They walked towards the guy's house and showed up after he died. I'm pretty sure on the day that he died, they showed up, which means they were leaving knowing he was dying, showed up, he's dead. Then here's the kicker. Every year on the anniversary of his death, they showed up. So
my question is, who sent them an email to let them know about the death?
You don't need that email. You don't need that. And then there were ones with parrots. They had a parrot in the attic, and the woman in the basement should look at pictures, and they have the audio of it, and the parrot would go like, ring, ring, it's the phone. She's looking at a picture of a phone. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, these are like low. This is the well liquor of this podcast. The top shelf will fucking blow your. It's paradigm shifting. It's insane.
I need that ability. Well, because when I say power for evil, it's not really for evil. I'm a very shy guy in important moments when it comes to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
There are some women that I have been in love with over the years that I've not told them. If I had this ability, I could just whisper in their brains, "I'm behind you." What? I love you. Oh my God. And who's that? And I can go, me with the hoodie on. And they'd be like, how are you doing that? And I go, imagine the other possibilities of what I can do to you.
This is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
10 inches is my pool deck. Well, that's funny because they would have to have telekinesis for you to do that.
But I can train them. If I know that it's an ability.
So your strategy, I can see why maybe you're having some difficulties. Yeah. Your strategy to meet a woman is to first train her in fucking telepathy,
you gotta hear me out.
Then freak her out but she can hear everyone's thoughts at that point.
You gotta hear me out, man. You gotta hear me out. What are the odds of two people in the same room? Say it's 1,000 people in a room. The odds that two people have telekinesis, very low.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Right? If I meet Zoe Kravitz under the pretense that I'm going to train her, and guide her in something, and then when she's learning and she's figuring it out, she's like, "Oh my God!" Then I don't need to communicate with her. She's going to be my wife.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my goal in life, is to have her my wife.
True.
You know what I mean?
I think that's true. Isn't she married?
No.
Isn't she dating someone?
No. My friend's a soothsayer. He says that they're going to break up soon.
Oh. So
it's already public that her and Channing Tatum called it quits.
Oh, that's who it was.
They called it quits.
Oh, so you're out for Zoe. Put it out there, man.
Zoe, what's happening? Also, I know. Yeah.
So let me ask you something. You'd be okay dating a mega famous Zoe Kravitz type?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Different.
Well, it depends, because I don't know. There's like a stereotype about those women and those men who are super famous that they're crazy, that they, like we just talked about. Like they have these.
That's what I mean. Once you're kind of that. By the way, this is not a woman thing. I wouldn't want to date, if I was a lady or a gay man, Channing Tatum either. I'd just be like that. I can't be going to the Vanity Fair party every year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that would be your life.
Well
so I want you to think again.
No, not necessarily. Here's my logic.
Tell me.
3 years they were together.
Yeah.
I would see her post photos, or you would see magazine things at different parties. I would see her out at parties sometimes. I didn't see him. He's busy. He's got his own life.
I see.
I'm busy. I got my own shit to do.
Yeah.
I can't be bailing on work because of this party or that party. And it's nice to go every once in a while.
So you'd have your own, you'd be bento box.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I love that you knew what I meant.
Yeah, 100%. I think I do. Not take your pick.
Yeah. Bento box. Well, I meant some people, Val and I, my wife, were just talking about this. Is like some relationship styles are like, you're over here and I'm over here. And occasionally the rice gets in the fish and occasionally, but usually we're just over here.
I thought you meant
separate.
Like, you can just a la carte it.
I like that too.
Yeah.
But we're PB&J, Val and I. We're all up in each other.
Well, I would hope so.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
But that's what I want. Your relationship style, you don't want, this is very personal, but like you don't want, I saw your house, NBA Jam, then you go in the theater, then you eat a lemon by the pool. Like, are you like a relationship guy, meaning like the life merger, or and there's no judgment on this, or is it more sat phone talking to Zoe on the way to, what is the Vin Diesel?
Bloodshot?
Bloodshot 2, where Vin gives you a big hug and goes, I've been texting the wrong guy. He said it was you. And then he kisses you on both cheeks. And you get a phone from Zoe Kravitz, and she's like, I can't be at dinner because of this. By the way, that might not even be true, but is that your style, or do you want to be like in PJs? Are you in PJs? Are you in PJs, or you want both?
I want both. Because I do have to provide for my family. So a lot of times you have to go and do the song and dance. Yeah.
How much money you have?
Me? Hundreds of millions. It's about 700 million.
Well, you were on 7 seasons of New Girl.
Each season, 100 million. Season.
And you were on, I'm just saying, provide for my family? This is a...
Oh, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I what I mean by provide for my what I mean by provide for my family is that you know how this business goes. If you kind of have to be in a rhythm to continuously, you ride certain waves. You win an award. Let's see where this takes me.
Great, right?
It was fantastic.
I mean, then the offers.
Yeah,
is that it?
That's my point.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the real Emmy is now people know you're out there.
Exactly.
I mean, they already knew.
Yeah.
But now.
And then it's kind of like a strike while the iron's hot kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
and also you enjoy it.
I love acting. I love performing. I love the song and dance of it. It's great business to be in.
Yeah.
I love fans. I love damn near most aspects of the business I enjoy.
Yeah.
I just don't like early call times. That's about it. But
what about night shoots?
I actually don't mind night shoots that
Really?
much. Yeah, you know, I don't mind it. I just hate waking up at the ass crack of dawn.
You're not a morning person.
No.
I'm that guy. If we have a 5 a.m. call, I'm there. I'm so happy.
He's like, yes,
I love it.
Everybody do
I
it.
love it. Let's shoot this sunrise for sunset and just be done.
But Zoe, she seems like a person who would be boring with you every once in a while.
Yeah, I believe it. None of this had anything to do with Zoe, by the way.
Yeah. Don't talk bad about her.
I'm not dragging Zoe.
Don't talk bad about her.
But were you married before? There's very little about. All it says is you have one kid. This is what it says about your private life on your Wikipedia page. Children, 1.
Yep.
That's all it says.
That's intentional. Although I post my daughter quite often on Instagram.
And how old? You have a daughter, though.
Yeah, she's 4. And
So we're similar age. I mean, 6.
6,
It's not that far off.
Yeah, she's the wildest. Do you know you said you have a son?
It's a daughter.
You have a daughter?
Yeah,
Is she funny?
She's funny. She's so funny.
That's the best part of my life is watching
I know.
her new material.
You're about to. I know every parent says this because they say it to me too. But 6, holy shit!
Yeah.
Like 4, it's here. Like you're seeing the personality. So I'm not saying you're not there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying buckle up. It gets so much better.
Yeah, man.
And the 2, that you see their attitude, you see their perspective.
Oh, yeah.
You see, it had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There it is.
Here it is. This is her thing. You know what I mean? And
well, how is she funny?
she tries out material, like straight up jokes.
Tell me everything.
Like straight up jokes.
What?
Yeah, like
So she's verbal, like she's a talker.
Oh my God, is she?
Understands
Yeah.
jokes.
Oh yeah, and her recall is crazy.
Really?
Like she'll think of
Like her dad. One of the best in the
one of
business.
the best in the business.
Best freestyler, best memory.
Best recall, total recall.
Total Rico. He's got it, not the Colin one. Colin was great.
Not
The
that
Penguin
one.
didn't care for the Total Rico. What the fuck is this?
Love Tigerland, but I'm not a fan.
The Banshees of Inisherin was a very moving picture. Cut to the crowd, dead silence.
They're like, what?
Sorry.
No, but she has all kinds of moments and like.
What's a bit that she tried that then she refined?
So let's see. Well, there's a few. The other day, wait, damn it. Okay, yeah, there's a few. There's like, I was just thinking of one too. Because like when I say her recall is crazy, she'll think of a joke. Okay, so my sister was over, and she called my friend Danielle a bitch. But they were joking.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking and she was like, bitch, you go. Yeah, girl, you bitch. You better stop.
Wait, did people laugh when she said it?
Well, no. My sister is saying this to Danielle.
No, I know. But
Yeah.
but what I've noticed with my daughter is one time, sorry to interrupt, but my wife's auto-dictating a text. This is such a dad moment. She's telling our babysitter or our house sitter to unplug the e-bikes per my request because apparently it can cause a fire.
Oh, is it?
That's something somebody told me. So she's going, and Pete was wondering, I know this is kind of annoying, if you could please unplug the e-bikes in the garage. Yeah. And then I lean over and go, into someone else's voice dictated text, apparently it can cause a fire. So it gets in the text. We all die laughing because that's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane to co-opt and invade someone else's text.
Yeah.
So we're all laughing. Then after that day, my daughter won't stop saying apparently it can cause a fire because that's what she noticed. So
That's
when
what
I'm
got the laugh.
asking, when she said bitch, did they laugh? Did she go, oh, that's a funny word?
No.
Okay.
No. So she heard her say that. Now I'm in the bathroom at this time, and then all I hear is, "Oh, Lily, no!" And I come out the bathroom. I go, "What's going on?" And Lily's in the corner smiling, and I'm like, "Lily, what's wrong?" And she goes, "Bitch." I was like, "Wait, what?" I said, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "Bitch." And I was like, "Why is she saying this?" And my sister was like, "I'm so sorry. I was telling Danielle that I said bitch," and so Lily, she just kept going bitch, and she does it now. When she does it, this happened months ago, and even the other day, my friend was at my house with my daughter. They were going to go for a walk, and she was like, "Come on, Lily." She's like, "Come on, Lily." Lily was trying to put her shoes on. She goes, "Don't leave me. If you leave me, I'm gonna say bitch."
my God, she's got a card. This is advanced, I feel like,
Yeah.
for 4.
Yeah.
She knows what's up. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, and very manipulative too, in a way that
Brilliant.
I have to pretend to be upset with.
Yeah.
But I'm
Because
like,
you're glad that she's sharp.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about my daughter's toughness. I'm super soft. I'm always on Leela's side. Val laughs at that. Like, we haven't seen Leela punch somebody, but if she did, I'd be like, that kid was harassing her. Like, obviously I have to work on that. And when it comes to negotiating with children, I see everybody's side. But personally, I'm always like,
what you do?
what you do?
What you do?
I just can't help it. I'm fucking obsessed with her.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look to me for fair and balanced.
No, not at
I'm
all.
over here going, Leela was right to start a fire in your kitchen. That was very creative.
Your parents deserve to die. So sorry.
And then I'm so rough with other kids. Like, I love treating kids in like a rough uncle kind of way. It makes me so happy just messing with them. But with Leela, I'm so gentle. Similar name, by the way, Lily, Leela.
Lily and Leela. Yeah.
4 letters?
Yeah. Lily.
Nice, bro.
What are you?
Lila.
Whoa. Tip touch.
So it sounds like you enjoy being a dad.
Oh, it's the best.
Does she understand what you do?
Now she does.
Yeah.
Initially,
After
she
the
did.
5th screening of Game Night?
She has to sit through it. This is how we pay the bills. You
Sweetie, stay awake. It's 11 p.m.
You get tape on her eyes. It's not abuse. I didn't hit you. I didn't hit you.
So now, like, people recognize you when you're with her and stuff?
Yeah. So initially that was happening when she was too young to understand.
Yeah.
We'd take a walk. She'd be in her stroller. And, we'd play this game where we would just point out things. You go, Lily, what's that? You go, tree. What's that? Cat. She's identifying certain things.
Bitch.
And so people would always stop us on this. This is when I lived in West Hollywood. So I'd be walking down Melrose, and people would always stop and ask for a photo. And then one time, one lady asked for it was weird. She was like, "Can I?" And this is when I was walking with my daughter in my hand, and she said, "Oh my God, can I have a photo with you and your daughter?" And I said, "Oh no, not my daughter." And then she was like, "Okay," and she's getting the picture. She's putting her arm around me and my kid, and I was like, "Wait," I was like, "Hold on for a second." And Lily just goes, "It's my daddy." And then later on, she asked about who that lady was. Like, I forget what her exact words were. And I said, "Oh well, sometimes people ask daddy for photos because they like daddy." She's like, "Why?" And I go, "Well, daddy's on television, and some people appreciate that, and they want a photo." And we'll drive down the street and I'll have a big BMO billboard somewhere, and she'll go, "Daddy's famous." Daddy's famous. Like, she'll point it out, and I'm like, "Oh, I think she's getting it, but not quite." And then now, she just knows.
Yeah.
She'll tell her friends at school, "My daddy won a trophy." Like, oh shit.
And you thanked her. By the way, did Robert Downey Jr. sign your poster?
No.
Fuck.
My heroes, man.
How did he not?
I don't know. I don't. I mean, he's busy.
For those of you, bitch. For those of you that don't, you want another one? You can have this one.
Oh my God! What flavor is this?
I believe that's just plain.
Is
Is it cold?
It's cold enough.
We can have a cold one.
No, I don't do cold.
No. That's you?
I do room temp.
I do Denzel going, it's from Ian Edwards. Not Ian Edwards.
Dean Edwards.
Dean Edwards, thank
Yeah.
you. Shit. My
You
brain
want
got
some
scrambled.
hot sauce and mild sauce?
Hot sauce? Yeah, that's
Dean
good.
Edwards. His Denzel is crazy.
His Denzel is crazy. And since I saw him do it, I'm completely conceding that I just lifted it from, I don't do it for money or on stage. I just go, that's you, that's you.
That's you.
That's you.
That's you.
That's you. This is Denzel meeting your girlfriend. That's you.
Oh, that's you.
That's you. All right.
Yeah, you guys lay together? Huh? You know her in the biblical sense? Yeah, God bless. God is good all the time. No.
Well, I don't think you can legislate love.
You
see that interview?
No.
Where they were like, do you think Congress should be doing more against racism? And right off the bat, he goes, I don't think you can legislate love. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, it was like one of the most brilliant, it's kind of like a gotcha moment. They were like, it was some issue. It was like, they just voted against this. And he was like, you can't legislate away hate.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it was awesome.
Pretty good.
When people are
Yeah.
who you want them to be.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
100%.
When you want them to be as brilliant. I'm obsessed with the Equalizer movies. I think they're so good.
I love when he just goes like this. Beep.
I know.
16 seconds.
16
They go, he about to kill you in 16 seconds.
16 seconds.
Oh, shit.
And there's something, he does what, I can never fully articulate what I mean, but he does interesting acting. And there's such a fine line. You do it too much, it sucks. But he's still, and he's moving. You know what I mean?
He's engaging. You
He's
don't want to,
engaging.
every time he's on screen, you want to be looking at him.
Yeah, I know.
He commands the entire frame.
Well, that's what, but there's also something, he's quiet. The blinking.
You ever see his death scenes?
Wait,
When
oh
he died,
my God.
he just won't die. He's just like,
That's right. That's right.
It's the most interesting deaths you will ever see.
Because he has to die on his terms. Well, that's Training Day.
Yep.
Which
Training Day.
which
I
I'm
think
obsessed with
Safe
as well.
House with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
But he's just like,
Yep.
he won't die.
And there's something, why is it cool? Like the blinking, you really nailed the blinking. Why is that cool? I also noticed like cool guys in movies, they always take their pills without water. Why is having a moist throat cool?
Yeah.
But it is. And that's real mammal shit where we go, they're lubricated. They're not dying. They don't need water.
They got dry throats.
That's like what lions think is cool about other lions. And it made it to humans. Like you just throw in pills and swallow it. And Denzel's quiet. I tried to do a bit about this where I was like, why is it cool to be quiet? Denzel's like, you want to go out? You want to go out? You want to come out? Yeah.
Okay, good.
Think about it. Even when he's loud, he's kind of quiet. And then think about like a dork. He's like, hey guys, what's going on? They don't know the room. You just gave away their location.
Yeah.
Everyone knows where you are. The alpha is like, we're going to go over there. There's going to be food over there. You know what I mean? Like it's real primal stuff.
Because there's some moments where he'll start high and then get low, so you can understand what you can put the emphasis on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You understand what I'm telling you? You understand what I'm telling you?
You understand what I'm telling you?
You understand what I'm telling you?
That is good.
I like that interview that he did with that. I forget.
5 pounds of pressure, son. 5 pounds of pressure. That's all it takes. He makes this line work. He goes, man isn't spelled G-U-N, son. How do you make that cool? Look, I love The Equalizer, but that's a bad line. Meaning it's a bad line to say.
But he makes it.
He makes it, man isn't spelled G-U-N.
Yeah.
Show me the greats and have them say that line without it being fucking stupid.
And if we knew
we'd be Denzel.
We'd be Denzel.
Man isn't spelled G-U-N, son.
Yeah.
Does he add a son? I don't even know if he does that.
Somebody else goes, it's not. I just thought about that shit. It's not spelled
Come on, Miles.
G-U-N.
Come on, Miles. Come on, Miles.
You miss a tackle. You run a mile.
In Equalizer 3, he gets shot in the back and he sits down and he's doing that. You do it. Yeah, that's good.
What it is confusion.
He's confused.
You know, even in Book of Eli.
One of my faves.
This man is
like
blind.
Book of Eli. You like Book of Eli?
I loved it.
I love it too.
But he's blind, right? That's the reveal at the end.
Yeah, spoiler.
But in the beginning, like not in the beginning, but when he gets shot, he's like, or is he stabbed or shot? I forget. But he's just kind of like, you could see his face, and he's looking. I looked at Denzel like, because he does this look sometimes where he'll look and he'll just go
that,
and then I go, who is he looking at?
Yes.
That motherfucker blind. Like, who is he?
But he wasn't born blind. I think he was blinded by whatever wiped out people.
Oh,
yeah.
Blind. I was like,
you know what's... Sorry, don't get me started on Book of Eli. Because in the opening scene, when he walks into the first house, there's a tell that he's blind. He puts his hand out and he knocks stuff over. And if you know he's blind on second viewing, you're like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
He's being completely blind in that first scene.
My friend told me the ending to Sixth Sense before I saw it. And I didn't know...
You see
that it was a spoiler.
You see dead people?
Yeah, I see dead people.
Okay.
So the moment that film started, I said to myself, okay, Bruce Willis is a ghost. I am with the understanding that this man is a ghost. He's a ghost. Boo-hoo, Casper. So I was like, so at the end when everyone like gasped and they went, oh, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with them?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, you
I was
got
supposed to
robbed.
know he was
You
a ghost.
got robbed.
I got robbed.
These days, they're so revealing with trailers. They would make the trailer that tells you he's a ghost.
Yeah.
Everything is in there. There's no more surprise casting.
Yeah. In Bruce Willis's most spooky performance as a ghost.
Somebody once told me I'm dead. Okay, I'm loving talking with you. It's funny. This is a 4 o'clock. This has 4 o'clock energy to me, and I love it. It's a lot more chill. Usually, I do this at 11 after my first coffee, and I can't.
Oh, yeah,
it's really fucking.
You gotta relax, man. You
I
gotta
just
chill.
you want
have your own cards?
You want to relax? You want to relax?
You want to relax?
Oh,
Huh?
you want to relax?
Yeah.
That's when
yeah.
he's getting ready to be mad. Oh, you want to relax?
Oh, you wanna relax,
I can't
huh?
do it. That was just a fucking bad one right there. You want to relax?
That's what you're telling me? Huh?
That's what it should sound like. That's what you tell me.
That's what you're telling
I
me.
can't do it. Look. Oh, do you do Will Smith as well? I love impressions.
No,
I saw it online.
I'll tell you this, and I'll tell it to
My wife's
name.
Oh no!
My son. No, so I when I say I like Denzel came from Dean. My Denzel, just like you said.
Yeah, Dean.
Dean, it's inspired by Dean, but it's also inspired by Jay Farrow.
I mean,
Will Smith inspired by Jay Farrow for me because I never thought to do a Will Smith impression until I saw Jay Farrow do it.
I know.
And I was like, wait, that sounds exactly like Will Smith.
I know.
What's he doing?
I know.
So,
I feel that way. Taron Killam did this podcast. He did Brad Pitt. And after when you hear someone that does an impression and you go, I didn't even know that person talks away.
Yeah.
I can't do it. But Taron's like, boom. I can't do it. He fucking figured it out.
I would cry. I know a sign that I made it is when someone can do an impression of me because I don't think I have a particular interesting way of sounding. But, I don't know.
I don't know. That's you. That's you. It just turns into. It's interesting. If someone did you, I think I would know it was you.
Really?
But now that I'm talking to you, I don't know what that would sound like.
Right? There are people who do impressions of you.
Are there?
Right? There's got to be because
James Adomian does it, but he just yells. I want somebody that does the.
Yeah,
I'm
going to work on it. I'm going to work on it.
It depends on what you're doing because I talk differently sometimes when I'm doing stand-up. There's like a fight-flight thing that goes on, so I'm adrenalized.
Yeah.
And I start talking in a different cadence. I'll be like, can Starbucks stop? It goes up a little bit. And there's podcast. It doesn't matter. What am I talking about? How to do an impression of me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We can cut this out too if you want.
I guarantee I won't care whatever it is.
Do you remember a show, and I'm not sure if this has happened often, but I haven't talked to him in a while, old buddy of mine, TJ Miller.
How do you know TJ?
Second City Days, Chicago.
Yeah. That's where he and I met, yeah.
Yeah, so we had like a brief...
By the way, did you know Steve O'Harvey at Ed DeBevick's? Very funny comedian. He actually passed. But you worked at Ed DeBevick's.
Yeah.
And Steve O'Harvey worked at Ed DeBevick's. His name was Steve Harvey, I think, but he added the O because of Steve Harvey.
He was like, fuck.
So a bunch of comics, maybe even TJ, we all went to Ed DeBevick's and
shit.
ate there. And you might have been there. When I read that, I was like, that's fucking nuts.
Well, there were two at DeBevick's.
Okay.
There was one out in...
One where they're nice to you?
Yes, it's super nice.
It's Edward DeBevick.
You walk in and they suck your dick.
I had to. It was down there. I had to do it.
We're really nice here.
Yeah. The super nice Ed DeBevick's.
Everyone gets an orgasm.
Ed DeBevick's, for people, it's hard to say. It's a restaurant where they're mean to you on purpose.
Yeah, we're mean to you on purpose. And there was one out in the burbs in Lombard.
Yeah.
And at the Yorkville Mall. And then there was one in the city.
I think this one was, I can't remember.
It had to have been in the city.
Probably in the city. And I remember I had to get my own drinks. Like we ordered drinks and Steve-O waited on us and he was like, you get them.
Yeah, yes. That's
and
the kind of...
I got them and it was such a thrill.
Yeah, that's the kind of place it is.
Yeah. So you were saying how you knew, no?
Yeah, so...
TJ, something about TJ.
Yeah, so TJ, we met through that.
Yeah.
And then actually I think I ran into him on the street once in New York. He had just done that ABC show. Carpoolers.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I was living in New York at the time, walking past each other, and I stopped him. I was like, dude, Second City. Because I used to see him there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so TJ and I would hang out often. Then we did a pilot together for CBS.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did a pilot together
What was
for
that
CBS.
called?
The Assistants. Yeah, it was
Vaguely.
It was Heather Locklear, Sarah Wright, David Henry, Jason Jones.
Okay.
But
wait, Jason Jones.
Yeah, the comedian.
Daily Show?
Daily Show, yeah.
Married to Samantha Bee?
Yeah.
That's crazy because I did Samantha Bee's podcast this morning.
Really?
And she's mentioning Jason. I was like, oh, right, Jason
Yeah.
Jones.
That's Jason
It's
Jones,
weird.
yeah.
Came up twice in the same day. That's weird for me.
Yeah, that means he's meant to be in your life.
Well, I have telepathy, so
That's
no
true.
big deal for me. Zoe? Not now, Zoe. All right. So you did a pilot.
So we became buddies, and I would go watch him perform all the time.
Yeah.
And one show, my girlfriend at the time, her mom was in town, and she was like, "Oh, my mom wants to go to a comedy show." So I called TJ. Hey, man, are you performing anywhere? My girlfriend's mom is in town, and I want to take her to see your show. He's like, "Yeah, man, I'm performing at this place at
Good.
the Gower Gulch. Yeah,
Gower
Gulch.
Gower Gulch.
Gower.
Yeah, Tiger Lily.
Yeah, Tiger Lily. And so you were hosting,
Okay.
and he was.
That's you?
Yeah. And TJ was you kept calling for TJ to come to the stage. You were stalling.
Yeah.
And TJ, and I'm like texting.
Wait,
him
he
now.
wasn't coming on stage?
He wasn't coming on stage. He was supposed to. And no one knew where he was.
Yeah.
And so I'm texting him. I'm like, "Where are you?" And he's not answering. Then finally he hits me back. "Oh man, I'm in the kitchen hanging out with the cooks." So he was in the back, fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he comes on stage, and I remember he couldn't do his material. So you come back on stage,
Yeah.
and you guys do what might be the funniest thing I've ever seen on a stage, a 2-man set, where you're basically holding him up in a way,
Yeah.
but you guys are bouncing off of each other as if it's a sketch show.
Yes.
And it was one of the funny. So
Yeah.
my girlfriend at the time, her mom went from being, because she was a black mom too, so she was just kind of like, "What is this shit? Like,
Yes.
oh, he late. Oh, he's drunk on stage. Okay." And then she went from that to being in tears.
Oh my God.
Laughing, going, "That was the funniest shit I've ever
Wow.
seen."
I wish I could see it. I have very little memory of that.
Yeah, it was at Tiger Lily.
I mean, I can picture it. It's like my mind is making the memory.
Mm-hmm.
And TJ and I would occasionally go on stage and perform together.
Yeah.
Me and Mulaney would do that from time to
Okay.
time as well. It was a weird thing. Usually when you're hosting, go up with someone else, and now you got two people riffing, makes
Yeah.
it easier. I remember feeling that TJ, who was a much, blew up faster than all of us, was very generous in that way, would
Yeah.
like riff with us and
Yeah.
kind of like let some of that rub off on us too. We also, I say this all the time, is like, we all kind of learn how to improvise from TJ. He's a really, really quick improviser.
He's one of the best ever.
I know, and if I would say if you watch the people from our class of Chicago comedians, I don't really do crowd work anymore, but it doesn't even have to be crowd work. It's like the way TJ really figured out a code that if you want to riff on something, start from this angle, not this angle.
Yeah.
And we all just picked that up. The first time I saw him, I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Yeah.
It really that was in I think it was called High Tops in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
But we've sort of fallen out of touch, but I try to give respect and credit.
Oh, yeah. I haven't talked to him in a while, but
Yeah.
I hope he's doing great, man, because he's
super funny.
dude's brilliant.
Yeah, he's super funny. Yeah, we can. Thanks for being considerate. We keep that in, of course. Keep it in. I thought you were going to ask me something about God or my wife or something.
Yeah. So how's your wife in the sack?
Actually, do you? Well, I don't know why you feel like a married dude to me for some reason. I was going to be like, our sex does get better. I'm really happy to say that. We've been together for 12 years. And it's not like we're getting kinky and freaky, but we're so close.
Yeah.
It's that sort of, not to overshare here, but that mergy sex. It's not really even about the sex. You're kind of you love each other so much you can just kind of melt into each other. It's really, really beautiful. And I like sharing that, not to be like, I'm cool, but to be like, you can find relationships that have depth. Have some sort of subtlety that continues to go. Because the normal comedy angle would be like, when we can do it, that sort of thing.
Because I always thought, because I'm not married, and I'm not even close to it. I'm kind of dating and seeing what's
against
out there.
marriage or open.
I wouldn't say I'm against marriage. Yeah. I'm for whatever happens in the moment, because each I get a different energy from anyone that I'm dating at the time.
Yeah.
So
that's good, because it's a cliche. Those long couples that are against marriage, next person they date, they get married.
Right.
So you have to be honest and open to what's being asked and what you want.
100%. Like what's right for me and this woman might not be right for my next relationship.
Yeah, that's right.
And So if I could meet someone who I have the best relationship with, and she could say, I like open marriages or open relationships.
Yeah.
And that's a decision I have to make in real time. Like, is that something that I could be cool with?
Right.
And, at times you might say, yeah. At
And
times
then find out you're not.
Yeah, and you go, nope, I'm not cool with this.
Yeah.
That's a monster I saw you take. No, ma'am, no, I don't like this. Why is he breathing that heavy? Why is he sweating so much? Why?
I mean,
why did you tell him you loved him? Why did you tell?
That's not dirty talk.
Yeah, that's not dirty talk at all. Why did you?
You were just saying, I love you. You're better than my partner. That's not dirty talk.
Why'd you change the locks on the door and then give him the new key and then not give it to me? Why'd you get? So that it could happen, and I don't.
Yeah.
And then you have to shift it up. But then sometimes I've been in situations where I want to be married immediately.
Yeah.
Where I want to spend every moment with this person. So I don't know. I'm not against it, but I'm not necessarily for it.
Yeah. No, I understand. You're just living in reality.
Yeah, whatever Zoe wants to do. Yeah.
I mean,
whatever she wants to do.
She's Lenny's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
But I'm her daddy. What? I'm sorry. She's never gonna date me.
What I was gonna say, I watched some show where Lenny was showing us. It might have been Cribs or something like that, showing us around his island. I was like, you can't date that man's daughter.
No.
If your dad is that cool.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of rich people.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of rich people that are that creative, that are like, I want to own an organic vegan farm, and he knows all his staff, and he's like, this is where I make my music, and he's so fucking cool.
Yeah. This man works out in leather pants.
That's honestly part of the tour was like, this is the tree where I do my workouts. Like, it was a tree. It was a tree. He's like, I just, I FaceTime with my trainer, and I was like, you can't. I couldn't follow that.
This is where I do my workouts. But this tree. Oh,
yeah, that's the male figure that she had.
So what the fuck am I going to provide her? What am I going to provide? You like Equinox? What am I going to provide for this woman?
I'm used to guys working out on a tree that's just the right shape for push-ups.
Shit. Yeah.
I got a fantastic night's sleep last night, and that's in large part because I've started using mouth tape, but not just any mouth tape. I've tried other kinds of mouth tape, and they smell like chemicals, and they rip your skin when they come off. Our friends at Hostage Tape have dialed it in perfectly. Why do you want to be putting tape over your mouth before you sleep? Kind of sounds crazy, right? That's what I thought. I thought it would be claustrophobic. I thought it would make it impossible to sleep. It's the opposite. Your brain gets the message immediately. You close the tunnel, it takes the bridge, and now what? You're getting 20%, up to 20% more oxygen because you're breathing through your nose like you should be. Don't be a mouth breather. You're also reducing your risk of sleep apnea. It eliminated snoring for me. It even helps with oral hygiene and bad breath, and it makes me sleep so well and so deep and for so long. Boom, gets it done. How do I know? Well, I feel fantastic when I wake up. Feel like I've flooded my body and my brain with oxygen, which I have, and I get those deep, deep good dreams, which means I'm getting into that REM state. I've tried other brands. Hostage Tape is the one. They are the official breathing aid of the UFC for a reason, and they have a special deal you can only get on this show. That's true. Only on this show, 6-month supply. And trust me, you're going to want 6-month supply, because once you try it, you're never going to go back. $99 for a 6-month supply. That means you save $50 when you go to hostagetape.com/weird. This is the only place that Hostage Tape sells a 6-month bundle. Go to hostagetape.com/weird and sleep better tonight. Get into it. We're also brought to us by our friends. If you're watching the video, this is my Apollo Neuro. It is the one piece of wearable tech, hands down, that has changed my life for the better over the past years. It is a technique, it's a technology, really, that helps your body recover from stress by sending vibrations into your body that gives your nervous system the sensation of being touched or held. So it's like a digital hug on your wrist on demand. And when I'm feeling stressed, when I'm traveling, when I'm freaking out, when I want to slow down, or when I want to energize, focus, calm down, be social, be joyful, there are settings for all of these on your Apollo Neuro. It's hooked up to your phone. You pick how you want to feel, and boom. It's almost subperceptual. You're not going to really notice it unless you really crank it up. But Apollo can help you relax, sleep, focus, be more productive. You can wear it on your wrist or your ankle. It even helps you fall asleep, which if that was all it did, it would be worth it. The Apollo Neuro is not woo-woo. It was not. It was developed by a neuroscientist. It was developed by a neuroscientist and a board-certified psychiatrist who have been studying the impacts of chronic stress in humans for nearly 15 years. And Apollo's effects on stress, sleep, cognitive performance, and recovery have been proven in multiple clinical trials and real-world studies. You can get $40 off. It's an amazing gift for that friend that's hard to shop for, or for yourself. $40 off at apolloneuro.com/weird and use promo code weird. That's APOLLONEURO.com/weird. We usually talk about the meaning of life. Mm-hmm. When you won your Emmy, maybe it was meaningless, but you thanked God right off the bat. Mm-hmm. Any spiritual lingerings? By the way, maybe you don't know this, but this is a very safe space to talk about whatever your feelings are.
Yeah, no, I'm Christian. I grew up Christian.
Yeah, what kind?
Non-denominational Christian.
Me too.
Yeah.
Word?
Yeah, word.
The word?
The word.
The word?
Word.
The podcast is just eating itself in this way. Word. Wow.
So I grew up south side of Chicago, so I went to the Colonial Village Church of Christ there. But I don't, I got to say, still Christian, but my understanding of God is a little different now.
Yeah. How's
and
that?
I just feel like I have a different relationship with God, and I'm sure a lot of people say that, and it might not feel Christian. I don't know, but I just feel like I communicate with God all the time, but it's not necessarily in a traditional way where people go to church, sit down, pray, do communion, do all those things. I still donate to the church. I still give to the church. Whenever I'm back home in Chicago, I still go. But I don't practice the ritualistic things on a daily basis.
You know what's funny, dude? Is that to me is deeply Christian when you consider what Jesus did. Jesus was always getting in trouble for picking wheat on the Sabbath, not doing the rituals, not praying in public, fucking up the temple, all this stuff. But isn't it weird that it's become this thing where it's like, well, I don't know if it holds up to the scrutiny of what Christianity is, when really we're talking about the religion built on the back of a wandering sadhu, basically, like a homeless person. Yeah. I'm saying that with full respect. The Son of Man
an unhoused
person. Son of Man has no place to lay his head. So we're talking about a wandering guy, like a wandering philosopher who was the disciple of another wandering philosopher, John the Baptist, who people also thought was insane, meaning people thought both of these dudes were insane. Yeah. And then it became you telling me that you feel like you have a personal relationship to God, that you have access to the kingdom of heaven inside of you, and you're worried that that sounds unchristian.
Yes.
I get it, because I grew up in that too, but how hard have we lost the narrative that you're like, I love Jesus, but like, I feel like I'm with God without the rituals, without the kind of the Pharisee stuff.
Yeah.
100%. And you're worried that sounds unchristian, which I get, by the way.
Yeah, when you grow up traditionally in the Christian church, there's so much to it. I get into conversations all the time with people who are devout Christians, and they're like, you got to go to church on Sunday, you got to go do this, you have to do this, you have to say that, and it has to be in this order of operations, and it has to be like that.
We used to do that too. It's like, don't pray to God, you have to pray to Jesus,
and then Jesus will tell God for you. And I'd be like,
it's almost like Richard Rohr, my homeboy, he's a Franciscan. I love him to death. He calls them smells and bells people. It's people that just love church. They love, it's almost like, there's no disrespect here. This is my interpretation, by the way, of smells and bells. It's like, it's their sports. Yeah. It's like you can't, the manager talks to the owner of and really, there's more money at the Yankees. They just love it. And I used to love it too. I was like, the rules and the tribe and the identity. And we're non-denominational. We're not Catholic. Or we're not Methodist.
We don't do those things.
We do full immersion baptism. And it's a whole, and when I say it's a hobby, I don't mean it to put it down. I mean, it's a real fun thing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if it works, I look at it like this.
If it gives you meaning.
Your relationship to God is your relationship to God. If you want to go through these steps, great. Yeah. And if it's working for you, then even better. Yeah. But it doesn't mean it works for everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everyone doesn't, I think I think God is so complex that you can have a different relationship with God.
That's
that
right.
God will meet you where you are.
That's right.
You know what I mean? If you're not equipped to do certain things or follow certain guidelines or whatever the case may be, that's between you and God. It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I need you to figure that out for yourself
Right.
and move through life, which we're all trying to navigate.
Right.
The best way you know how to move through life.
Right. Is this? It sounds familiar. I'm wondering, are you like when it comes to like premarital sex? That's what I'm feeling you defending here.
Here's what I'm trying to say.
Because I relate to that. I just grew up enough in that. I remember certain celebrities saying they were Christian, and I would be like, "But you like famously dated that person. I know you're having sex," and like that was the deal breaker.
You fingered Rihanna.
Yeah, exactly. You bragged about it.
It's in your song.
Yeah. And that was always very confusing to me. And it's just kind of like a nice moment where I'm like, oh, I think Lamorne might be talking about that, like that there might still be people in your life that's like, how can you do this, this, and this and call yourself a Christian?
I swear a lot.
Yeah, swearing is another one.
The dirtiest mind and mouth, comedically.
Yeah.
It's always been, I think this is when it happened. When I realized Bob Saget was a dirty comic.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But he's America's favorite dad.
Yeah.
How is he on stage talking about butts?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, then I started thinking to myself, if it's funny, it's funny. I could, maybe I could do it all, and then I would get in trouble for saying certain things.
Yeah.
And I would go, but those people are laughing, and I liked it.
Yeah.
And I didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, well, God doesn't want you to do that. I go, he told you that?
Well, I could talk about this for 9 years, but I'm trying to think of a good Jesus quote for you. Like he said, let the weeds grow with the wheat. That's one of the ones I like. And the way that I interpret that is, I think, speaking for myself, my mom, for example, somebody said, she told me, she goes, my hairdresser said, or somebody at church said, I saw your son's special. I loved it. And I said, what's wrong with you? Like she can't even understand how somebody would like what I do.
Yeah.
She doesn't mean it, by the way.
Yeah.
With my mom, I'm kind of like, you don't mean anything that you say. It's kind of a weird thing. Right. But she doesn't even understand because I'm talking about sex and I'm swearing. And I'm over here going like, it's the whole experience. It's the whole human experience. And it's honest and it's artistic and it's beautiful and it's transparent.
Yeah.
And it's of service. It's gritty and it's dirty and it's messy. And that actually feels very holy to me, even though if when I was 22, I would have made no sense to me when I was 22.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Because it was all about don't smoke, don't drink, don't swear, don't have sex. But that's, I feel like that's cart before the horse stuff. It's like...
Yeah. I honestly think it's you are where you're supposed to be in those moments. Yeah, you might have had to have been that person at that age, so you can develop some sort of base or foundation.
That's right.
A
container.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you go from there, and then I know the parameters in which I will not go.
Yeah.
And that evolves over time.
Yeah.
I know better.
You have your boundaries.
I have my boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think that does come from the strong base in the church. And I think that is the point that it has served in my life, that my mission in life and my goal in life is to make people happy and to treat people with kindness and to try to set people up to succeed on their own. That's always been my goal. I have the most fun doing it, and I think that comes from the church. But some of the more ritualistic things, I go, I don't think I'm useful to you in that manner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm useful to Christianity that way.
Or the world.
Or the world.
Or your audience.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Richard Rohr, again, he has a book, I forget what it's called, but the subtitle is Order, Disorder, Reorder. And that's the hero's journey, but it's also how our souls are transformed. It's how we're converted.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just stop at order.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I don't think it's great, but I'm not here to judge. We got the rules. We got the thing. We're going to stay in the village. But the hero's journey is you leave the village.
You leave.
You go on the journey. You get dirty. Things get strange. You forget yourself. There's an all is lost moment. There's the boon. There's the helper. You learn. You're transformed. Then you go back to the village. Yeah. That's the reorder. But you need the disorder.
You need it.
My faith was forged in the fires of my divorce. If my wife had never had an affair and left, I would probably, I don't know. I hope
Is
not.
that like a famous, like not a famous thing, but that's like a public thing that she had an affair?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Right?
Holy shit.
You're gonna
Was it with Channing Tatum?
what would Denzel say to my wife? You're gonna cheat on this man?
Oh, you gonna cheat? You gonna walk down that road, huh? Slippery slope, huh? Hope you got on your aqua socks because it's about to get wet, huh? And I don't mean in the good kind of wet. I mean that kind that you put up your nose, huh? You like to get wet? That angel dust. That's sticky icky. It's gonna get.
I don't mean good wet, like Denzel wet.
Like Denzel wet, not the kind of wet when you get a burrito with the sauce on the outside. I'm not talking about that
Christmas?
kind of wet.
You do a Christmas style? I want to do it so bad. You're so good at it. Yeah, so like I had that image of God was the guy who's looking out for me, protecting me. Nothing bad would happen to me. There's this great James Finley quote. He goes, I believe in a God who protects me from nothing but sustains me in everything. Yeah. Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Because it's not the mafia. Mm-hmm. He's not protecting your bakery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying there isn't intervention or some sort of room for miracles or whatever it might be, but I'm saying like now I have a faith that can understand and sustain through things not going your way.
I had this conversation with my sister today. We were talking about just like career stuff and disappointments in career and figuring out, what you should be doing, and breaking in and doing all those things. And
is she an actor?
She's an actor, and we were talking about faith and how much of that comes into play. And I said, you won't see me going to church every Sunday, and you won't hear me saying out loud like, "Dear God, what do I do in this moment?" Because I already have an understanding, and I'm internally always having those conversations where I'm just like, well, the faith is already there, and the work, the foundation has already been laid. So I know that God is with me. And even when it doesn't feel like it, even in troublesome times, I go, this is a part of the journey. This is it. You know what I mean? And because I've hit rock bottom before. I've slept in my car. I've couch surfed. Yeah, I've been on mushrooms in my car. It's right. I've had an encounter with the devil.
John Hamm.
Yes. and I bounced back. I endured. I got on Dave's private jet and I came right back to realization.
Buckle up. Hey, man. Taking my jet. Oh. Get in my jet.
Jet. So I just told her, I said, my confidence in my career and in my abilities, and I'm never in a position. I never feel like I never feel like it's not going to go my way, even when it doesn't go my way.
Right.
I go, it wasn't supposed to go my way. You know what I mean? And I do think that comes from the foundation of the church.
That's funny because Richard Rohr's definition of faith isn't believing in unbelievable things; it's being comfortable in not knowing, and that's what it sounds like you're describing.
Yeah.
You don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
And you're okay.
It's not my job. I've been given a set of tools to go and try to attempt to continue to make people laugh or entertain folks. And for the time being, that's what I enjoy doing. So I'm just going to do that.
Yeah.
And be grateful when it's time to be grateful, even when it's a down season. Just be grateful that, I'm still able to provide for my family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just chalk it up to the bass.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Beautiful bass.
Beautiful bass. I got the best bass, not deplorables. But, good bass.
And dead over? Do you think it's over when we die?
Now I don't. Here's the crazy thing. I watch a lot of conspiratorial videos.
Yeah. The algorithm figured that out. You clicked on the wrong thing. Martin Lawrence got cloned.
Oh my God. It's like I do. I want to believe in a heaven and hell. It's just not what I think. It's just not what traditionally people think it is.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
I think we die, and we don't know we died, and we come back as something else, and we don't know of our past life.
Yeah.
That's what
that
I
makes
think.
Sense.
Where energy is moved into something else, I think.
Yeah.
And then, now I'm a Chinese boy named Pai Pai.
Yeah.
Over there in Taipei.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We sold our movie for $48 million.
$1
Vin Diesel China callback.
Now I speak Mandarin. Yeah.
And all of those past lives, I take it to the next level, are happening simultaneously. So it's not actually a past life. It's just one life, all these expressions, and they're all happening at once. That's how I like to think about it. And if you ever get in guff for that, you should Google. I won't spout them off here, but there's a lot of New Testament references to reincarnation.
Really?
And some of them that were taken out. One of them that does come to mind is a boy was born blind, and the disciples asked Jesus, did the boy sin, or it was something like, did his parents sin, or did he sin in a previous life? There's some question like that, where it's just kind of assumed like, reincarnation is probably a thing. There's a couple other ones like that.
Yeah.
And they say, when Jesus says, who they say that I am, they go, some say you're John the Baptist. Well, John the Baptist is dead. Yeah. So it's like, well, what? We're talking about life recycling itself. Yeah. Kind of interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey,
man.
Maybe I'm accurate.
Maybe you're what?
Accurate in my assessment.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's right. Yeah. Maybe I come back as you.
Yeah. Come back as you.
I come back as you, huh? You want to be me, I want to be you, huh? And who are we? Huh? Face Off 2. That's what we are. I want his face off.
Dude, face off, but it's a black guy and a white guy. So when the face is on, it's a different color.
The hands are different
color. You just look like the Karate Kids with like a white ghost face on. That is insane.
Can you imagine they come from the operation and they look around and he just goes, what about the hands? That's going to be a problem. They go, shit, go back under.
Now we need hands off.
Yeah, now we need hands off.
I need you to get your hands off me. And
get your hands off me.
That was good. That was good.
Oh, man.
Here's the last question to get you out of here. Can you remember the time in your life where you laughed the hardest in your whole life? Maybe you were a kid. Maybe somebody fell. Maybe somebody farted. Maybe you were in a place you weren't supposed to laugh.
Oh, boy.
Church.
I used to laugh a lot in church. I used to mock the preacher a lot. Because the preacher, Brother Daniel Carter Sr., used to wear his everything about him coordinated. Like he was every Sunday, and he was very particular about the wristwatch and how it would match his shoes. Remember earlier when I was talking about?
Yeah.
I was referring to him.
Callback. And I thought of the Def Jam joke where the dude goes, sentence, period. Yeah. Because everything matched. Yeah.
Or even John Witherspoon. You got to coordinate. Sometimes you got to coordinate. And the inside match this part and that. That's how he was. Very, very stylish guy. And he would always, when he would tell people to turn to the text, he would go, if you turn to the text, Matthew 5, and 5. Like he would drag it out like that.
Wow.
And it'd be so engaged. Everybody'd be so engaged because he's such a powerful speaker. But I would be in tears laughing.
Of course.
I'm like, what's taking him so long to say the scripture? Like, it ain't that hard of a scripture. He's still saying it.
I have to say, of all the contributions of black culture to the world at large, the black preacher, is underrated. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
John Roy, the comic, used to have a joke about how white kids talk like black people, but it's only one kind of black guy. Yeah. It's like the hip hop guy. Yeah. It's like, you should do black preacher. And he goes, if you want redemption, you should find Jesus. It's this great bit. But I was like, he's not wrong. When you're looking at like ways to keep people engaged and changing singing, they made that up.
Yes.
They made that up.
It's keeping
you made
intrigued.
Church interesting.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Full respect.
Yeah.
But I used to go to a black church in Mattapan occasionally. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? I go back to my church in Lexington, very white, very boring. And I was like, this dude's saying the same message, but everyone's falling asleep.
Everyone's falling asleep.
It was brutal.
Yeah, black preachers, man, they got style.
They had style, and they knew how to communicate and entertain. Yeah. And the music, don't get me started. I was in a gospel choir. It was one of the coolest things I ever did. I loved it. It was so fun.
I remember this one preacher, I think his name was Brother Doolin out of Dallas, Texas. We used to go to this big conference. And I remember this one thing about it. He was like preaching and going on and on and on and on and on. And then he said, let me wake you up for a second. So he took the Bible and threw it. Everybody was like, what? And he goes, it's just paper. It's just paper. And he starts going there. Everyone was like, whoa. He goes, it's in here. It's here. It's here. It's just paper. Somebody printed it. And he starts going on and on. I was like, whoa.
Okay, well, look, I don't want to force a synchronicity, but I wrote a couple episodes of The Simpsons, and
Really?
my character was
Holy-
a pastor, and he got in trouble for burning a Bible, and it was because he was making that point.
Yeah.
He was going, it's not here. Don't worship the road sign.
Yeah.
The road sign's telling you to go, this way's Detroit. He goes, go to Detroit.
Yeah.
And he burned the Bible, and that's why he got scandalized. That's
Yeah.
why my character gets fired, and I go away.
Yeah.
That's how it goes with guest stars. But it was making that point. So I
Yeah.
have the chills right now. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Like that's the real message right there.
Yeah.
And good on him. What was his name? Brother Doolin?
Brother Doolin.
Brother Doolin.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, respect.
Yeah, dude. I was a kid when it happened. I was like, did he just throw the Bible?
But I mean, it was back to what you were saying. It's like we can't get lost. This is a Ram Dass line. Don't worship the sign that says this way to Detroit. Go to Detroit.
Go to Detroit.
It's not about, it's really, who said it? St. Augustine, love God and do whatever you want. It's like if that's what it's about, converting your fundamental relationship with reality. Or you could say your relationship with God. And then everything else is just kind of window dressing, including a holy scripture, including a deity, including an image of a deity. Because if you can picture it, it's not it.
Yeah.
It transcends all of that.
100%.
There's a line in the Tao where they go, the Tao meaning consciousness, awareness, the big, the word that was with God and was God.
Was God, yeah.
The Tao. There's no room for yes or no there. There's a poem where they go, God knows everything, but he doesn't know anything about addition or subtraction.
Yeah.
It's like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Lamorne being in or out doesn't make sense to the fundamental.
Yeah.
And that's what we mean when we say God's love is eternal.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, you got me preaching.
It's so wild. We go from Trump sucking
Sucking dick.
dick
You can say it.
to God's love is eternal.
I know. I've been saying this on stage all the time. I'm like, maybe if I picked one lane, I'd be like 30 times more popular. But you know what, dude? I love where I am. And I say it to my audiences all the time. I'm like, I got jizz jokes. I have jokes literally about Jesus and like talking about the prodigal son. And I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's like my tribe. I want like people like you. Let's get filthy and let's talk about, because I don't like that what I would consider everyone's birthright. The question, who am I? What am I doing here? What is reality? What is the source of reality? Got somehow sequestered with the polite people and the nice people and the sweet people. And in my summation, like when I was growing up, kind of the phony people. I'm just talking about my
100%.
own experience. Not everybody.
Very similar experience, yeah.
But I was just kind of like, these are the fucking chosen people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, then you meet the people that, honestly, that Jesus was drawn to.
Yeah.
The derelicts, the outcasts. Jesus hung out with tax collectors. You know, that's kind of like the mafia.
Yeah.
Like if you look at history, tax collectors weren't H&R Block. It was dudes that collected on debts.
Yeah, 100%.
And fucked people
And they'd
up.
break your legs.
And that's why they were mad that Jesus was eating with them. And with prostitutes, obviously sex workers, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And we've just lost that. We've lost that narrative.
We got to hang out with sex workers more.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and tax
Let's go.
collectors.
Let's go.
I'm on my way.
Go. We're gonna go get some. I've told you on this episode that I am unfaithful. That would be so creepy. I'm not, by the way. That
He's
would be
not
such
unfaithful.
a heartbreaker. And I'm not even saying Val would know I'm joking. I'm saying that for the people.
Yeah.
If you have any stock in our relationship, I am joking. Anyway, Lamorne, this was awesome.
Dude, thank you, man.
really
I appreciate
appreciate
you having me, man.
I'm so glad you did it. I enjoyed every second. Would you shit on Max Greenfield for never even replying to my emails? Just give him a nice little fuck you, dude.
Why can I do it for multiple reasons?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Max, because you don't reply to Pete's emails. But also, fuck you because you don't respond to my texts either.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you look like better looking John Mulaney, you just get to live however you want. Is that it?
When you're one of fucking people's sexiest men alive, you get to do whatever you want.
You look like Peter Parker, but in a universe where every character is better looking. All of mine are about just how I'm attracted to him. You're a better looking Peter Parker. You don't have to reply.
Six pack that makes me damp. Fuck you, dude.
Eat shit, dude. I got a confusing erection right now. Do this podcast. We had Jake. We got. What if this whole thing was just a ploy to get Max
Mine
on?
never airs just this clip.
By the way, I'm just kidding. Life is complicated. He'll do it at some point.
He will.
We're gonna make him do it.
Yeah. You know he lives like 3 blocks from here.
It's fucking bullshit.
I pulled up. I said, hey, this is Max's house right here.
We're gonna get Zoe on just to fuck with Max.
Yeah.
That'll be the one.
Yeah, because she lives furthest out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so.
Do you go to those?
I'd probably say I live further.
I saw you there.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah. I saw you. Are you going to another one? Christmas party?
I can't go this year.
Yeah, I don't think I can either.
Fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry to name drop, but a Zoe Deschanel Christmas party.
It's fantastic. They are not cheap.
The party?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean them?
As people.
They spare no expense.
There's a lot of good food there.
No. You get a big box from them, it's not a charging pad.
No, it's not.
No.
No, it's not.
No. And Vin Diesel, you're not invited.
I got a big box once from Zoe for a gift, and it was a piano for my daughter. It was like a cool little mini piano for my daughter. I was like, she gives good gifts. She still has it.
We watched Elf this year, and we were like, sweetie, she came to our house. Mila doesn't give a shit, dude.
She's like,
she's
sure
too
it
cool.
is.
She's like, whatever.
That's the hard part
She
about
didn't
when
care.
you watch TV and you go, I want to tell you so bad that I know that person or that cartoon that you like. I know the woman doing the voice. Like,
Can I tell you? Everyone that knows this podcast has heard this before, but I'm going to tell you as a dad. In a moment of vulnerability, I said to Val, I was like, what if when Leela is a teenager, I'm not doing anything? What if I dry up and I'm just like a fucking nut? I was going to say a nothing. Obviously, that's not true, but I feel like nothing's going in my life. And Val just goes, you'll be her dad. Like, what are you talking about? Nothing. That's why Leela doesn't give a shit. Zoe Deschanel is an elf.
yeah.
You're her dad,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
So take that.
100%.
Keep it in that silky, soft camel skin fucking coat.
Sandra.
Sandro.
That's right. Sandra.
John Wick. Kind of. You look like a good guy in John Wick. I don't
look
think
like one
you're
of the
bad.
good ones. 'Cause,
Yeah. You don't got common face.
No.
I don't mean common like ordinary. I mean the rapper,
Common.
Common sense
Rapper/actor.
from Chicago.
Oh, he was there too when I was on shrooms.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like I should have gone to one of. I hate. I'm not gonna say I hate things like that, but they're not fun.
It was fun.
I bet it was fun. I don't like it.
It was fun. You would have loved it.
I would have loved it. Oh man! Thank you, man. Would you say keep it crispy? It's how we end. You could say it as Denzel only because it's so joyful. If you want.
Okay, I'll say
keep
it
it crispy.
I'll say it as Denzel. Keep it crispy. Extra lightly battered.
Everything I eat is crispy. It's delicious.
Little lemon zest.
Get it on the private jet. Dave Chappelle is there. Dave loves me.
I love Dave. Dave loves me.
I got dragon energy. Wait, that was Kanye. I confuse. I'm like, whoa.
What's going on, man?
You finished that sentence. You confused.
Oh, man. Anyway, keep it zesty. Is that what it was? Crispy.
Oh, I thought you were fucking with me.
No, it's just literally.
You made it